Her son was dying, and the only person who could save him was the billionaire father who had abandoned them 7 years ago. But when she finally found him, she discovered he hadn't left her by choice, and the truth about their son was far more dangerous than she ever imagined. Happy morning, my beautiful Proudly family. Welcome back to Proudly Black Stories. Your love and support mean the world to us. Before we begin, tell us in the comments, which country are you watching from? What time is it in your city right now? If you're new here, subscribe and officially become part of our Proudly family. Now, let's begin today's unforgettable story. Her 7-year-old son needed a life-saving bone marrow donor, and the only perfect match in the entire hospital database belonged to the billionaire who had abandoned her before he ever knew she was pregnant. For 7 years, Nia Bennett had protected one secret with everything she had. But when her son whispered, "Mummy, am I going to die?" Nia realized there were some secrets a mother could no longer afford to keep. Rain hammered against the tall windows of Mercy Heights Children's Hospital. As Nia sat beside her son's bed, both hands wrapped around his tiny fingers. The room smelled of antiseptic and cold medicine. Machines beeped softly around them. Outside, the city glittered beneath the storm, thousands of windows glowing like distant stars. But Nia couldn't see any of them. She could only see her son. 7-year-old Caleb Bennett was too small for the hospital gown they had given him. His curls were slightly damp from the bath the nurse had helped him take earlier, and his favorite dinosaur socks poked out from beneath the blanket. He looked exhausted, but he was trying to smile. That was what broke Nia's heart the most. He was always trying to make her feel better, even when he was the one lying in the hospital bed. "Mummy?" Nia leaned closer. "Yes, baby. Did the doctor say I can go home tomorrow?" Her throat tightened. She forced a smile. "We're going to see what the doctor says." Caleb studied her face. "You're doing that thing again." "What thing?" "The smile that means you're scared." Nia looked away. 7 years of motherhood had taught her that children noticed everything adults tried to hide. She squeezed his hand. "I'm not scared." Caleb raised one eyebrow. "You're a bad liar." Despite everything, Nia laughed. A small laugh, a broken laugh, but a laugh. "Who taught you to talk like that, Grandma?" "Of course." Caleb smiled, then his smile disappeared. "Mummy?" "Yes, if I get sick again." Nia's heart stopped. "Don't say that. But if I do, you won't." "What if I do?" Nia leaned forward and kissed his forehead. "You're going to get better." "How do you know?" "Because I am your mother. Because I have prayed every night. Because I have worked 2 jobs and slept 4 hours a day and skipped meals and worn the same coat for 3 winters. Because every dollar had to go toward keeping you alive. Because I would trade my own heart for yours if I could." But she didn't say any of that. Instead, she whispered, "Because you're my strongest boy." Caleb nodded. Then he closed his eyes. Within minutes his breathing became slow and even. Nia stayed beside him. She didn't move. She didn't dare. Because whenever she allowed herself to relax, fear came rushing in. Fear had become her unwanted companion. It had followed her since Caleb was born. It had been there when he developed unexplained bruises as a toddler. It had been there when he began getting fevers that wouldn't disappear. And now it sat beside her in the hospital room. Waiting, Nia looked at the clock, 2:17 a.m. She rubbed her tired eyes. Then the door opened. Dr. Evelyn Harper stepped inside. The woman was in her early 50s, with silver threaded through her short natural hair and a reputation for delivering difficult news with honesty rather than false hope. Nia stood immediately. "Doctor?" Dr. Harper closed the door behind her. "We need to talk." Nia's stomach dropped. She looked at Caleb. "He's asleep." "I know. Is it bad?" The doctor didn't answer immediately. That silence was enough. Nia stepped into the hallway and quietly closed the door behind her. "Tell me." Dr. Harper held a tablet against her chest. "The tests came back. And Caleb's condition has progressed faster than we expected." Nia felt the hallway tilt. "What does that mean?" "It means medication alone is no longer enough." Nia swallowed. "What does he need?" "A bone marrow transplant." She stared at the doctor. "Okay." The word came out too quickly. "Okay, then we'll find a donor." Dr. Harper's expression softened. "We've already started the search, and no compatible donor has been found through the registry." Nia's face went pale. "Then we keep searching. We will." "How long?" The doctor hesitated. "How long, doctor? We don't have as much time as I'd like." Nia pressed one hand against the wall. "How much?" "Without a successful transplant, we're talking about months." Nia stopped breathing. "Months, not years, not someday, months." "No." "Mrs. Bennett." "No." Her voice cracked. "No, you don't understand. He's 7. I understand. He has school. I know. He wants to be an architect. I know. He's supposed to go to Disney World next summer." Dr. Harper stepped closer. "We're going to do everything we can." Nia shook her head. "No." Her eyes filled with tears. "Everything isn't enough." The doctor didn't argue, because sometimes honesty hurt more than comfort. We're going to test relatives first, she said. Parents, siblings, grandparents, anyone biologically related. Nia's body went cold, pancrence. She knew what that meant. She was Caleb's mother. But there was another parent, a man Caleb had never met, a man Nia had spent 7 years trying not to remember, a man whose name she had erased from photographs, old messages, and every conversation. Darius Cole, billionaire, technology magnate, founder of Cole Meridian Group, a man whose face appeared on magazine covers, a man who owned skyscrapers, a man who could buy islands but couldn't buy back the years he had stolen from Nia, and perhaps the father of the little boy sleeping behind that hospital door. Dr. Harper continued speaking. We'll need Caleb's biological father's information. Nia's eyes closed. I don't have it. The doctor frowned. You don't know who his father is? I know, then why? He isn't part of our lives. Dr. Harper studied her carefully. Even if he isn't part of your lives, he could potentially be a donor. Nia looked toward the hospital room. He doesn't know Caleb exists. The doctor was silent. Then perhaps, she said gently, it's time he did. Nia's heart cracked open. No, Miss Bennett, no. She stepped away. I won't go to him. You may not have to. We can start with the genetic registry. Nia shook her head. You don't understand who he is. Then help me understand. Nia stared at the floor. 7 years earlier, Darius Cole had been the only man who ever made her believe love could be real, and then he had disappeared, not gradually, not with a goodbye. One day he had been everything, the next day he was gone. No call, no explanation, no message, nothing. Nia had spent years telling herself she was better without him. She had raised Caleb alone, worked through exhaustion, built a small interior design business from nothing, paid every bill, celebrated every birthday, held every feverish forehead. She had learned to be both parents. And now, after all those years, fate was asking her to knock on the door of the one man she had sworn never to see again. Nia looked at Dr. Harper. If I give you his name, what happens? We contact him. No. We don't have to tell him anything beyond the medical situation at first. No, Miss Bennett. I said no. Her voice echoed through the empty hallway. A nurse glanced over. Nia lowered her voice. I won't let that man walk into my son's life because he happens to share his blood. Dr. Harper sighed. This isn't about him. Nia looked toward Caleb's room. I know. This is about your son. Nia's eyes filled with tears. I know. Then give us every chance. Nia didn't answer. Dr. Harper touched her shoulder. Think about it. Then she walked away. Nia remained in the hallway, alone. Her mind went back 7 years. Back to the night everything changed. Back to a rooftop in Manhattan. Back to a man with dark eyes and a smile that had once made her forget every reason she had ever had to be afraid of love, Darius. She had met him at a charity gala, where she had been working as an event designer. He had been the guest everyone wanted to meet. She had been the woman nobody noticed, until he did. He had walked past hundreds of people to speak to her. You're the only person in this room who isn't trying to impress me. She had laughed. I didn't know I was supposed to. You're not. That was how it started. Not with money, not with luxury, not with promises. With conversation, then friendship, then love. A love so intense it frightened her. Darius had taken her to restaurants she could never afford. She had taken him to tiny neighborhood cafes where the coffee came in paper cups. He had given her diamond earrings. She had given him a handwritten note. He had said her note meant more. She believed him, until the night he vanished. Nia remembered, standing outside his penthouse in the rain, remembered calling his phone, remembered hearing it ring once, then nothing. The next morning, she had learned from the news that Darius Cole had left the country for a major business acquisition. No warning, no goodbye, nothing. 2 weeks later, Nia discovered she was pregnant. She never told him. At first, she was angry, then heartbroken, then terrified. Eventually, she decided Caleb deserved peace more than he deserved a famous father who had chosen not to stay. But now Caleb needed him. Nia returned to the hospital room. Her son was awake. Mommy? She quickly wiped her tears. Yes, baby. Why were you crying? I wasn't. Caleb looked suspicious. You're still bad at lying. Nia sat beside him. He reached for her hand. Did the doctor say something? She stared at him. What could she tell a 7-year-old? That his blood was failing? That he needed a stranger's cells to survive? That the stranger might be the man whose photograph was hidden in a box beneath her bed? Nia kissed his hand. The doctors are working hard. Do I need medicine? Maybe. Does it hurt? Not if Mommy is with you. Caleb smiled. Then I'm okay. Nia couldn't hold back anymore. She bent down and hugged him. Her tears disappeared into his hospital gown. I love you. I love you too, more than anything. I know. Caleb pulled away. Mommy? Yes? If my daddy was here, would he help me? Nia froze. The question was so innocent, so devastating. She looked into his eyes. Why are you asking? I heard the nurse say something. Nia's heart pounded. What did she say? She said they need my father's blood. Nia closed her eyes. Caleb, does my daddy have the same blood as me? Yes, then why can't he help? Nia couldn't answer. Caleb stared at her. Is he dead? No. Does he hate me? No. Then why doesn't he know me? Nia's lips trembled. Because sometimes grown-ups make choices they shouldn't. Caleb thought about that. Did he make a bad choice? Nia couldn't lie. Yes. Did he leave us? Her silence answered. Caleb's face fell. I knew it. Knew what? That I'm not enough. Nia's heart shattered. She immediately pulled him into her arms. Never say that. But he left. That has nothing to do with you. Then why? Because adults can be broken too. Caleb buried his face against her. I wish I knew him. Nia held him tighter, so did she. That was the terrible truth. A part of her had never stopped wishing. 3 days later, Nia sat in the hospital laboratory while Caleb's samples were processed. She had finally given them Darius's name, not because she forgave him, not because she wanted him back, because her son needed a chance, that was all. The hospital had contacted a private genetic testing service. Because Darius was a public figure, the hospital handled the matter discreetly. Nia waited 1 hour. 2, 3. She drank cold coffee. She stared at the floor. She prayed at 4:46 p.m. Dr. Harper appeared. Nia stood. What happened? The doctor's expression was unreadable. Sit down. Nia's heart started racing. Why? Please, Nia sat. Dr. Harper took the chair across from her. We found a potential match. Nia's eyes filled with hope. Who? The doctor looked at the tablet. The genetic profile is an exceptionally strong match. Who? Dr. Harper looked directly at her. Darius Cole. The world went silent. Nia stared. No, his genetic markers are remarkably compatible. No, it's the kind of match we've been hoping for. Nia stood abruptly. I don't want him involved. You said that before. I mean it. But Caleb needs him. Nia shook her head. He doesn't need Darius Cole. He needs a donor. Nia's eyes burned. Can Darius donate without meeting him? Possibly. Then arrange that. Dr. Harper hesitated. There is another problem. Nia's stomach dropped. What? The donor has already been contacted. Nia stared at her. You contacted him? Through his medical liaison. Nia's face went pale. What did you tell him? That a child who may be biologically related to him needs an urgent transplant evaluation. Nia's hands began trembling. Did you tell him my name? Dr. Harper didn't answer. Nia's voice became a whisper. Did you tell him my name? Yes. The chair behind Nia scraped the floor as she stepped backward. No, Mrs. Bennett. No, she grabbed her purse. I need to leave. Nia, I need to leave. She rushed toward the door, but before she could reach it, her phone rang. Unknown number. She stared at the screen. The ringing stopped. Then a message appeared. We need to talk. Nia's blood ran cold. Another message appeared. I know about Caleb. She dropped the phone. For 7 years, she had imagined what it would feel like if Darius ever discovered the truth. She had imagined anger, questions, accusations, maybe even rejection. But she had never imagined fear, because the next message wasn't from Darius. It was from someone else. I know where you are. Nia stared at the screen. Then the hospital lights flickered once, twice. And outside the window, a black SUV stopped beneath the emergency entrance. A man stepped out. He looked up at the 7th floor window, directly at her. Nia's phone rang again. This time, she answered. Hello, a deep male voice spoke. You should have never brought Caleb to Mercy Heights. Nia's heart stopped. Who are you? The man laughed softly. Ask Darius Cole what happened 7 years ago. Then the call ended. Nia stood frozen. Darius? What did he have to do with this? Before she could think, Dr. Harper rushed toward her. Nia, we have a problem. What? The donor liaison just called. What did he say? He says Darius Cole is already on his way here. Nia's breathing stopped. No. Dr. Harper nodded. He's coming. Nia looked through the glass window toward Caleb's room. Her son was sitting in bed, drawing a picture of a family, a mother, a little boy, and a tall man holding his hand. Nia stared at the drawing. Then she heard footsteps approaching from the hallway. Slow, heavy, certain. She turned. At the end of the corridor stood a tall black man in a charcoal suit. Darius Cole, 7 years older, more powerful, more intimidating. But his eyes were exactly the same. The same eyes that had once looked at her like she was the only woman in the world. His gaze moved past her, toward the hospital room, toward Caleb. He stopped. His face changed. Shock, pain, recognition. Then Darius looked back at Nia. His voice was barely audible. That boy. Nia couldn't move. Darius took 1 step closer. Is he mine? Nia's lips parted. But before she could answer, a nurse screamed from Caleb's room. Doctor! Nia spun around. The heart monitor was flatlining. Caleb's body jerked beneath the blanket. Dr. Harper ran inside. Nia screamed her son's name. And Darius stood frozen in the doorway, staring at the child he had never known existed as the machines erupted into a deafening alarm. Then the doctor shouted the words that changed everything. We're losing him! The sound of the heart monitor seemed to tear through Nia's chest. Caleb! She rushed toward the bed, but two nurses blocked her. "Ma'am, please step back." "No, that's my son." Darius stood several feet behind her. For one frozen second, he looked less like the billionaire whose face appeared on business magazines and more like a terrified man who had just discovered his entire world was slipping away. "What happened?" he demanded. Dr. Harper shouted instructions. "Prepare the emergency medication. We need oxygen now." Nia pressed both hands over her mouth. Caleb's small body barely moved beneath the blanket. "Please," she whispered. "Please don't take my baby." Darius heard her. He stepped closer. "Is he dying?" Nia turned toward him. Her eyes were filled with fury and terror. "Don't. I need to know. You've had 7 years not to know." The words struck him. Darius flinched. "I didn't know. You left. I didn't leave you." Nia stared at him. "You disappeared. I was forced to." "What?" Before he could explain, Dr. Harper shouted, "Clear." The room filled with the sharp crack of the defibrillator. Nia screamed. Darius grabbed the doorframe. His face had gone white. Another shock. Caleb's body jumped. Nothing. Another. The monitor remained dangerously quiet. Nia began praying, not softly, not politely. She prayed the way desperate people pray when there is nothing left to lose. "God, please. Please take anything else. Take my years. Take my life. Just don't take him." Darius stared at her. Something broke inside him. He stepped forward. "Take mine." Everyone looked at him. Dr. Harper turned. "What?" "If he needs something from me, take it." "We already know you're a potential match." "Then test me now." "We need laboratory confirmation." "Do it." "We will. Do it now." His voice cracked. The billionaire who could make executives tremble was begging a pediatric doctor. Dr. Harper nodded toward a nurse. "Get his blood drawn." Darius extended his arm immediately, but before the needle touched his skin, the monitor beeped once, then again. A rhythm appeared weak. But there Nia collapsed against the wall. "He's back," a nurse whispered. Dr. Harper exhaled. "Keep monitoring him." Nia covered her face. Darius looked at Caleb. For the first time, he allowed himself to truly look. The dark curls, the warm brown skin, the shape of the nose, the tiny crease beside his left eye. Darius's lips parted. "My God." Nia heard him. "What?" Darius didn't answer. He couldn't because he had seen that crease before. In the mirror, on his own face, he looked at Nia. "You knew." Nia's eyes hardened. "Yes, you knew he was mine. Yes." 7 years. Her voice shook. "I was 19 weeks pregnant when you disappeared." Darius stared at her. "I never knew. I tried to find you." "What?" "You changed your number." "I didn't. You left the country." "I was taken out of the country." Nia frowned. "What does that mean?" Darius looked toward the nurses, then at Dr. Harper. "Can we speak somewhere private?" Nia laughed bitterly. "Private?" He looked wounded. "This isn't what I wanted. You don't get to decide what you wanted. Nia, you don't get to walk into this hospital after 7 years and act like you are the victim." "I am not saying that." "Then tell me where you were." Darius's jaw tightened. "Not here." "Why?" "Because someone is listening." Nia's anger briefly disappeared. "What?" Darius glanced toward the hallway. His expression changed. He looked alert, generously alert. "Who called you before I arrived?" Nia froze. "How do you know someone called me?" "Because I received the same warning." Her face went pale. "What warning?" Darius lowered his voice. "Someone told me to stay away from Mercy Heights." Nia looked toward the corridor. The black SUV outside suddenly felt much more frightening. "You know who it is?" "I have a suspicion." "Who?" Darius looked at Caleb. "Someone who has hated me for a very long time." Nia's stomach tightened. "Why would they care about my son?" Darius met her eyes. "Because they may believe Caleb is my weakness." A nurse stepped into the room. "Mr. Cole," Darius turned. "Yes, the preliminary testing is ready." Dr. Harper looked at him. "Your blood type and initial markers are compatible." Nia closed her eyes. Hope. For the first time in days, real hope. "How soon can you donate?" she asked. Dr. Harper answered carefully. "We need additional testing, infectious disease screening, and a full compatibility panel. If everything clears, we can begin preparation." "How long?" "Potentially days." Nia's face fell. "Days? His condition is unstable." Darius stepped closer. "Then whatever has to be done, do it." Dr. Harper nodded. "We'll move as quickly as possible." Darius looked at Caleb again. "I want to stay." Nia immediately shook her head. "No, Nia, you can donate and leave. He's my son." "You've never been his father." The words hung between them. Darius looked down. I know that answer surprised her. There was no argument, no arrogance. Only pain. "I know I haven't earned that title." Nia swallowed. "Then don't use it." Darius nodded. "Okay." He walked toward the door, then stopped. "But I won't disappear again." Nia watched him leave. She wanted to hate him. She had spent years practicing, but seeing him walk away from Caleb's room hurt in a way she couldn't explain. Maybe because some part of her had always wanted him to stay. That night, Nia sat beside Caleb. His breathing was steadier. He was unconscious from medication. She stroked his curls. "You're going to be okay." The words sounded like a promise, but she wasn't sure whether she was telling Caleb or herself. At 3:08 a.m., her phone buzzed, unknown number. She ignored it. It buzzed again, then again. Finally, she opened the message. "You think Darius abandoned you?" The next message arrived. "Ask him about the night he disappeared." Nia stared. Another message. "Ask him who paid the private jet." Her hands went cold. Then came the final message. "And ask him why your son's medical records were accessed before he was born." Nia stopped breathing. Medical records. Before Caleb was born? That was impossible, unless someone had known. She stood abruptly. Her chair scraped the floor. She looked toward Caleb, then toward the hallway. Something was terribly wrong. Nia walked to the nurse's station. "Excuse me." A nurse looked up. "Yes? I need access to Caleb's original medical records." "His records are electronic. I need the full history. Only authorized staff can access. I'm his mother." "I understand, but I need to know who accessed his records before he was born." The nurse frowned. "Before he was born? Yes, I don't understand. Please check." The nurse hesitated, then logged into the system. A few seconds passed. Her expression changed. "What? There are archived entries." Nia leaned closer. "From when? 7 years ago." "Who accessed them?" The nurse clicked, then stopped. "That's strange." "What? This account isn't active anymore." "Whose account?" The nurse looked at the screen. "Dr. Malcolm Voss." Nia's face went blank. "Who?" "He was a physician here years ago." "Is he still here?" "No. Where is he?" The nurse shook her head. "I don't know." Nia's heart began pounding. "Show me the records." The nurse hesitated. "I can't." "Why?" "Because they're restricted." "Who restricted them?" The nurse looked at the screen, then slowly whispered, "Darius Cole." Nia stepped backward. "What?" The nurse turned the monitor slightly. There was a digital authorization attached to the records. Darius Cole. Nia's heart hammered. "He accessed my son's records, apparently. But he said he didn't know Caleb existed." The nurse looked confused. "Maybe there's another explanation." Nia didn't hear her. She walked away. Her mind raced. Darius had lied, or someone had used his identity. Either possibility terrified her. She found him 20 minutes later. He was sitting alone in the hospital's private waiting area. His jacket was gone. His shirt sleeves were rolled up. He looked exhausted. Nia walked directly toward him. "You knew." Darius looked up. "Knew what?" "You accessed Caleb's records." His expression changed. "What?" "Don't lie to me." "I didn't. Your authorization is attached to them." Darius stood. "Show me." She held out her phone. He looked at the screenshot. His face went completely still. "I've never seen this." "You expect me to believe that?" "Yes, you're the billionaire. I know you can access anything. Not medical records. You expect me to believe someone forged your authorization?" Darius's eyes narrowed. "Yes. Why?" "Because whoever did this has been manipulating my life for years." Nia stared. "What does that mean?" Darius sat down again. Then he rubbed both hands over his face. "I need to tell you something." "Tell me everything." "I didn't leave you. You said that." "I was kidnapped." Nia's expression froze. "What?" "Not kidnapped the way you're imagining." "Then explain." 7 years ago, I discovered someone inside my company was stealing money through shell corporations. Nia listened. "I was going to expose him." "Who?" "My uncle." Nia blinked. "Your uncle?" "Jeremiah Cole." She knew the name. Everyone did. Jeremiah Cole was a respected businessman and philanthropist. He had appeared beside Darius in countless photographs. Darius continued. "He was moving money through companies connected to a foreign investment group. I found proof, and then he found out." Darius's voice became quieter. "The night I was supposed to meet you, I was intercepted." Nia's heart beat faster. "By whom?" "Security men working for my uncle." "You're saying your family stopped you from coming to me?" "Yes." "Why? Because they knew about you." Nia stared. "Me? You were the only person they believed could make me vulnerable." She felt a chill. "What did they do?" "They took me to a private facility." "For how long?" 6 weeks. Nia's eyes filled. 6 weeks. I was threatened, drugged, isolated. "Why didn't you contact anyone?" "I tried." "How?" "They took my phone." "You could have called from somewhere." "I did." "To whom?" Darius looked at her. "To you." Nia froze. "I never received a call, because they intercepted it." Her lips parted. "I sent you letters." "What?" 3. I never got them." Darius nodded slowly. "I know." Nia's breathing became shallow. "You knew?" "After I escaped." "When was that?" 6 weeks later. Nia stared. "That was after I had already left the city. I went to your apartment. I wasn't there. I searched. You could have searched harder." "I did." "Then why did you stop?" Darius's eyes filled with regret. "Because your apartment had been cleared." Nia's face changed. "I never moved." Stared at her. "What?" "I lived there for another year." Silence. Darius slowly stood. "Then someone lied to me." Nia felt the floor disappear beneath her. Someone had deliberately separated them. Someone had erased their connection. Someone had known about her. Someone had known about Caleb. And now that person was back. Darius stepped closer. Nia. She looked at him. Did anyone ever contact you after I disappeared? No. Think carefully. She did, then remembered one envelope, a plain white envelope that had appeared beneath her apartment door shortly after she discovered she was pregnant. She had never opened it, because she had been too angry. She had thrown it away, but suddenly she remembered something. A symbol, a black circle stamped in the corner. Nia's blood ran cold. I remember a letter. Darius's eyes sharpened. What did it say? I don't know. You don't know. I never opened it. Do you remember the envelope? Yes. What did it look like? She described it. Darius went silent. What, that symbol? What about it? My uncle used it. Nia stared. Used it for what? Private communications. Her stomach turned. Then he knew about me. Yes. And Caleb? Darius didn't answer. Nia's eyes widened. You think he knew about Caleb? I think he knew before I did. Suddenly a loud crash came from Caleb's hospital room. Nia spun around. She ran. Darius followed. The room door was open. A nurse was lying unconscious beside the bed. The monitors had been disconnected, and Caleb was gone. Nia screamed. Darius rushed inside. His eyes scanned the room. The window was locked. The hallway camera was blinking red. Nia grabbed the nurse. Wake up. Darius checked her pulse. She's alive. Where's my son? No answer. Nia ran into the hallway. Nothing. Then she noticed something on the floor, a tiny blue dinosaur toy, Caleb's favorite. Beside it was a folded piece of paper. Nia picked it up. Her hands shook as she opened it. There were only 6 words. You should have left the past alone. Darius took the note from her. His face became hard. I know who did this. Nia stared at him. Who? Before he could answer, his phone rang. He looked at the screen. His expression changed. What? He answered. A distorted voice spoke. Darius listened. Then his face drained of color. What do you want? Nia stepped closer. The voice continued. Darius clenched his jaw. No. The caller said something else. Darius looked at Nia, then at the empty hospital bed. His voice dropped. Don't touch him. A pause, then Darius whispered, I'll give you whatever you want. The caller laughed. No, Darius. The voice became colder. We don't want your money. Darius closed his eyes. What do you want? The answer came. We want the truth. The call ended. Nia's knees nearly gave out. What truth? Darius stared at her. The truth about Caleb's birth. What does that mean? Darius's phone buzzed. A video had arrived. He opened it. The screen showed a dark room. A small boy sat in a chair. Caleb. His hands were tied. A hooded figure stood behind him. Nia screamed. The video suddenly zoomed in. Caleb looked terrified. Mummy. Nia pressed her hand against the screen. I'm here, baby. I'm here. Caleb's eyes filled with tears. Then the hooded figure leaned toward him. Tell your mother who your father is. Caleb looked confused. He whispered, I don't know. The figure laughed, then turned the camera toward himself. For 1 second, his face became visible. Nia stopped breathing. Darius dropped the phone. Because the man on the screen wasn't a stranger. It was Jeremiah Cole, Darius's uncle. And before the video ended, Jeremiah smiled directly into the camera. Hello, Nia. The screen went black. Darius stared at the phone. Nia looked at him. Her voice was barely audible. Get my son back. Darius nodded. I will. No matter what. No matter what. And if you knew anything about Caleb's birth that you haven't told me. Darius looked into her eyes. I'll tell you everything. Nia's phone suddenly rang. She answered. A woman's trembling voice whispered, Nia, listen to me. Who is this? You don't know me, but I knew Darius 7 years ago. Nia froze. What do you want? I was there the night he disappeared. Darius turned toward her. The woman's voice became urgent. Your son isn't just a donor match. Nia's heart stopped. What do you mean? There is something in Caleb's medical history you were never told. What? The woman took a shaky breath. Caleb wasn't born with the condition the doctors think he has. Nia stared at Darius. What are you saying? I'm saying someone made him sick. The call ended. Nia stood motionless. Darius looked at her. Neither spoke. Then his phone received a new message. One photograph, a newborn baby, Caleb taken minutes after his birth, and standing beside the hospital bassinet was a man Nia had never seen before. Under the photograph was a single sentence. He was never supposed to survive. Darius looked at Nia. For the first time, genuine fear appeared in his eyes. We've been looking at this all wrong. Nia's voice trembled. What do you mean? Darius slowly raised his eyes toward her. Caleb isn't just the reason they came back. He swallowed. He's the reason they were waiting for us to find each other. The words stayed suspended between them. They were waiting for us to find each other. Nia stared at Darius as though the man standing in front of her had suddenly become a stranger. What does that mean? Darius looked at the photograph again, the newborn baby, the hospital bassinet, the unfamiliar man standing beside it, and the date, 7 years ago. The same night Caleb had been born. "I don't know yet," Darius said. Nia's voice rose. "You don't know?" I said. "I don't know yet. My son has been kidnapped, Darius. I know. Someone just told me that he may have been deliberately made sick. I heard her. And you're standing here telling me you don't know." Darius stepped closer. "I am telling you that whatever happened 7 years ago was bigger than the two of us." Nia shook her head. "No." She pointed toward the empty hospital bed. "My son is missing. That's all that matters. Then we're going to find him." "How?" "I have people. I don't want your people. You need them. I've protected Caleb for 7 years without you, and you almost lost him tonight." The moment the words left Darius's mouth, he regretted them. Nia's face changed. She slapped him. The sound echoed through the hallway. Darius didn't move. "You don't get to say that to me." Her voice broke. "You weren't there when he had his first seizure." She slapped his chest with both hands. "You weren't there when I spent nights sleeping beside his bed. You weren't there when I worked until my feet bled. You weren't there when he asked me why other children had fathers. You weren't there when I held him after his first surgery." Darius stood silently. Tears ran down Nia's face. "You don't get to walk in here after 7 years and make me feel like I failed him." Darius's eyes filled. "I don't think you failed him." "Then don't ever say something like that again." "I won't." Nia turned away. For several seconds, neither spoke. Then Darius quietly said, "You saved his life every day." Nia closed her eyes. "And now I need to help you save it." She turned back. Darius held out his hand. "Come with me." Nia looked at it. "Where? To my security center?" "No." "Why?" "Because I don't trust you." Darius nodded. "I understand, and I don't trust your family." "You shouldn't." "Then why would I go anywhere with you?" "Because whoever took Caleb knows the hospital." He looked toward the security cameras, "and they know mine." His expression hardened. "But don't know the one place I built specifically for emergencies." Nia hesitated. "What place?" "A private safe house." She looked at him. "Your family doesn't know about it?" "No. Your employees? Only 2 people. Who?" "My chief of security and my grandmother." Nia narrowed her eyes. "Your grandmother?" "Evelyn Cole." Nia remembered the name. A legendary woman, Darius's grandmother, had built the original Cole family empire alongside her husband. She was known for being elegant, fiercely intelligent, and impossible to intimidate. "Can she be trusted?" Darius looked at Nia. "With my life." Nia swallowed. "What about Caleb?" "With his life too." They didn't have time to argue. Darius made one call. Within minutes, the hospital's private underground garage was secured. 2 black SUVs arrived. Darius opened the rear door of the first. Nia stopped. "What about the police?" "They're already being contacted." "Already? My security chief is sending them everything we have." "Then why are we leaving?" "Because whoever took Caleb has someone inside this hospital." Nia looked toward the building. A terrible thought crossed her mind. "You think someone here helped them?" "Yes." "Then what makes your safe house different?" Darius's eyes hardened. "No electronic connection." Nia hesitated, then got into the SUV. Darius followed. The doors closed. For several minutes neither spoke. Rain streaked the windows. The city passed outside in a blur. Nia stared into the darkness. "Tell me about your uncle." Darius leaned back. "Jeremiah Cole is my father's younger brother. What happened between you?" "He believes the company should have been his. And your father gave control to me." "Why? Because I built most of the technology division." Nia looked at him. "You were always ambitious." "I was." "Then why didn't you tell me about the family problems?" Darius's jaw tightened. "Because I wanted one part of my life that wasn't about business." She looked away. "You made me believe I was that part." "You were. Then you disappeared." "I didn't choose to." Nia stared at him. "Why didn't you find me after you escaped?" "I did. No, I went to your apartment. You said I found your landlord, and he told me you had moved." "I didn't. I know that now." "Who lied to you?" Darius's eyes darkened. "My uncle." "But how?" "He had people watching both of us." Nia felt a chill. "Why?" "Because he wanted control of Cole Meridian, and he thought you would give it up." "No." Darius looked out the window. "He wanted leverage." "What kind?" Darius didn't answer. "Darius." He turned toward her. "You were pregnant when I disappeared." Nia's breath caught. "How did you know?" "I didn't." "Then why did you just say that?" "Because my uncle knew." Nia stared. "How?" Darius's voice dropped. "Someone gave him information. About me, about you and the baby." Her hands curled into fists. "Who?" "I don't know. Find out. I will." "No." She leaned forward. "You will find out now." Darius nodded. "I will." The SUV turned through a private gate. A massive stone residence appeared beyond a line of trees. There were no visible cameras, no guards, no lights. It looked abandoned. Nia frowned. "This is your safe house?" "Yes. It looks like nobody lives here." That's the point. The SUV stopped. Darius stepped out. Nia followed. The front door opened before they reached it. An older black woman stood inside. She wore a cream-colored blouse, dark trousers, and a thin gold chain around her neck. Her silver hair was styled neatly. Her eyes were sharp. Darius approached her. Grandmother. Evelyn Cole looked past him. Her eyes landed on Nia, then widened. Oh, Nia stopped. Evelyn stepped forward. So you're Nia? Nia frowned. You know me. Evelyn's face softened. I have wanted to meet you for 7 years. Darius looked sharply at her. What? Evelyn looked at him. You never told her? Told me what? Nia asked. Evelyn sighed. Come inside. Nia didn't move. What do you know about Caleb? Evelyn's expression changed. Too much. Darius stared at his grandmother. What are you talking about? Evelyn looked at him. Your uncle wasn't the only person who knew about the child. Nia's heart pounded. Who else? Evelyn hesitated. Your father. Darius froze. My father? Yes. My father died 6 years ago. I know. Then how could he know? Evelyn looked toward the rain. Because he knew before you did. Silence. Nia's hands began trembling. What exactly did he know? Evelyn looked at her. He knew you were pregnant. Nia's breath caught. When? Before Caleb was born. Darius stepped closer. How? Evelyn's eyes filled with regret. Because I told him. Darius stared at her. You? I found out. How? Evelyn looked at Nia. Your medical records. Nia's face went cold. You accessed them? No. Then how? Evelyn sighed. Your doctor contacted me. Nia frowned. The doctor who delivered Caleb. Nia's heart began racing. Dr. Malcolm Voss. Evelyn nodded. Darius's face changed. Voss, you know him? Nia asked. My uncle's private physician. Nia stepped backward. No. Evelyn nodded. He worked with the Cole family for decades. Why would my doctor be working for your family? Evelyn looked at Darius. That is the question you should have been asking 7 years ago. Darius's hands curled into fists. Where is Voss now? Dead. Nia froze. When? 3 years ago. Car accident. Darius looked toward Evelyn. Accident? Yes. Did you believe it was an accident? Evelyn's eyes hardened. No. A silence settled over the room. Then Nia whispered, What did he do to Caleb? Evelyn looked at her. I don't know. You said you too much. I know what he was involved in. What? Genetic research. Darius's expression sharpened. What kind? Evelyn looked at him. Illegal experimental treatments. Nia's heart dropped. My son? I don't know if Caleb was part of it, but you said you knew. I know your son was born during a period when your uncle was funding a private research program. Darius stared at her. Why? Evelyn took a breath. Because Jeremiah was obsessed with creating something that could make the Cole family untouchable. Nia frowned. What does that mean? Biological leverage. Darius shook his head. That's insane. I know. Grandmother, what did he want? Evelyn looked directly at him. A way to identify genetic weaknesses in people who threatened him. Nia felt sick. Are you saying my baby was tested? Evelyn didn't answer. Answer me. I don't know. Nia stepped closer. You knew something was wrong and you said nothing? I was trying to protect you. You didn't even know me. I knew enough. Then why didn't you come to me? Evelyn's eyes filled with tears. Because I was afraid. Nia stared. Afraid of Jeremiah? Yes. Why? Because he had already destroyed one family. She looked at Darius. And I was afraid he would destroy yours. Before anyone could respond, a sharp alarm sounded. Darius immediately turned. What is that? Evelyn's face went pale. The perimeter. Darius pulled out his phone. Someone's breached the gate. Nia's heart raced. Could it be the police? No. Darius moved toward the security room. Police don't trigger that alarm. He opened a hidden panel. A wall monitor came alive. Multiple camera feeds appeared. One showed the driveway. Another showed the back entrance. Then the image flickered. Darius's expression changed. What? Nia stepped closer. What do you see? Nothing. That's not nothing. Every camera feed suddenly went black. Darius cursed. They've jammed the system. Evelyn moved toward a locked cabinet. Get the emergency phone. Darius nodded. Nia looked between them. What do we do? Stay here. No, Nia. You're not leaving me alone. Darius stared at her. I won't. A loud crash came from outside. Nia jumped. Evelyn reached inside the cabinet. She pulled out a small black case. This house has one emergency exit. Where? Under the library. Darius looked at Nia. Take her. Evelyn shook her head. No. What? You take her. Grandmother, you're the one they want. Darius's face hardened. And you're staying? I've survived Jeremiah longer than you have. Another crash. Closer, Darius grabbed Nia's hand. Come on. They ran through the hallway. Nia looked back. Evelyn, the older woman smiled. Go. Darius pulled Nia through the library. He moved a heavy bookshelf. A hidden staircase appeared. They descended. The lights flickered. Nia gripped his arm. What happens if they find us? They won't. You sound very sure. I have to. They reached the bottom. A narrow tunnel stretched ahead. Darius opened a metal door. Beyond it was an underground garage. A second vehicle waited. Nia looked at him. "How many safe houses do you have?" "Enough. You really are a billionaire." Despite everything, she almost laughed. Almost, then Darius looked at her. For one moment the danger disappeared. They stood inches apart. His eyes moved across her face. "You haven't changed." Nia's breath caught. "Yes, I have. No. I've changed. You became stronger. I had to. I know." His voice softened. "I missed you." Nia looked away. "You don't get to say that. I know. You don't get to tell me you missed me after 7 years. I know. You don't get to look at me like that." "Like what?" "Like nothing happened." Darius stepped back. "I'm not pretending nothing happened." His voice broke. "I'm looking at the woman I loved and wondering how many nights she cried because of me." Nia couldn't answer. He continued. "And I'm looking at a little boy I should have known since the day he was born." Tears filled his eyes. "I can't change that." "No, but I can change what happens next." Nia looked at him. "What if Caleb doesn't survive?" Darius stepped closer. "He will. What if he doesn't? Then I will carry that pain with you." She stared. "You don't know how." "No," he took a breath. "But I'm willing to learn." Nia's eyes filled. For the first time in 7 years, she wanted to believe him. Then the garage door exploded inward. Darius shoved Nia behind the vehicle. Gunfire erupted. Nia screamed. "Get down!" Darius pulled a weapon from beneath his jacket. He fired once toward the entrance. A man dropped behind a concrete pillar. "Darius, stay down!" More gunshots. Darius moved quickly. He grabbed Nia and pushed her into the passenger seat. "Lock the door. What about you?" "I'm coming." He ran around the vehicle. Another bullet struck the hood. Darius fired back, then jumped into the driver's seat. "Hold on." The SUV accelerated. It crashed through the secondary gate. Nia looked back. 3 vehicles were chasing them. "Who are they?" "I don't know." "Then how do you know they're after us?" "They shot at us." "Fair point." Despite the fear, Darius almost smiled. They sped through the rain. Nia looked at him. "Where are we going?" "To someone who can help us find Caleb." "Who?" "A woman named Mara Ellis." "Who is she?" "My former intelligence analyst." "Former?" "She quit after my father's death." "Why?" "She discovered something." "What?" Darius glanced at her. "She found evidence that my father had been tracking you." Nia's heart stopped. "Why?" "I don't know." "Then maybe she knows. That is why we're going to her." The SUV turned sharply. Their pursuers remained behind. After 20 minutes, Darius pulled into an underground parking structure. He stopped. Nia looked around. "Where are we?" "An old coal meridian research facility." "Why bring me here?" "Because this is where my father kept his private archives." Darius opened the door. Nia followed. They entered a dark corridor. At the end was a biometric scanner. Darius placed his hand against it. Nothing happened. He tried again. The screen flashed red. "Access denied." Darius frowned. "That shouldn't happen." Nia stepped closer. "Maybe your father changed the system. He died 6 years ago. Maybe he expected you to come." Darius looked at her. "What?" She pointed at the screen. "There's a message." He looked. A line of text had appeared. "Welcome, Darius." Nia swallowed. Then another line appeared. "I knew you would bring her." Darius's face drained of color. "Bring who?" The system continued. "Nia Bennett." Nia stepped backward. "No." Darius grabbed her hand. The screen changed again. "Caleb Bennett axing file." Nia covered her mouth. The screen displayed a video. A man appeared, Darius's father. He looked older than the photographs Nia remembered, tired, serious, and afraid. "My son," he began. "If you're watching this, Jeremiah has already discovered the truth." Darius stared. His father's voice continued. "The child belongs to you." Nia's eyes filled. "But there is something you must know." The video paused. A password screen appeared. Darius stared at it. "What?" Nia stepped closer. "What does it need?" 4-digit code. "Try his birthday." "No, your birthday? No, Caleb's?" Darius entered it. "Access denied." He tried again, nothing. Then Nia remembered the photograph. The date, the day Caleb was born. She whispered, "Try the day I met you." Darius looked at her. "Why?" "Because that was the beginning." He entered the date. The system unlocked. The video resumed. Darius's father's face appeared. "I didn't trust Jeremiah." He took a breath. "So I hid the evidence." The screen changed. Documents appeared. Medical records, financial transfers, DNA reports. Nia stared at the screen. Then she saw a file marked Project Calypso. Her stomach tightened. Darius clicked it. A medical photograph appeared. Caleb newborn, the same photograph Jeremiah had. Then a second document, a genetic profile. Darius's eyes widened. "This isn't possible." "What?" he scrolled. Nia leaned closer. There were 3 genetic profiles. One belonged to Darius, one to Nia, and one labeled Subject CO7. Nia stared. "Who is Subject CO7? Darius didn't answer. A red warning appeared. Parental match, 99-98%. Nia looked at him. "What does that mean?" Darius's face was pale. It means Caleb wasn't the only child. Nia's blood ran cold. What? There was another. Before either could move, a hidden door opened behind them. A woman stepped out. She was holding a gun. Don't move. Darius immediately raised his hands. Mara, the woman lowered the weapon slightly. Darius. Nia stared. Mara's eyes moved to her. So you're Nia. Nia's heart pounded. You know me. Mara nodded. I've been looking for you for 7 years. Why? Mara looked at the screen. Because Caleb wasn't supposed to be born. Nia's face went pale. What are you talking about? Mara stepped closer. The night you went into labor, 2 babies were delivered. Silence. Nia shook her head. No. Mara's voice softened. One was Caleb. Nia could barely breathe. And the other. Mara looked at Darius. That's why your son was targeted. Darius stared at her. Where is the other child? Mara's eyes filled with fear. He's alive. Nia's heart pounded. Where? Mara looked toward the door. Right now? She whispered. He's with Jeremiah. Then every light in the facility went out, and somewhere in the darkness a child's voice called out. Mommy? Nia froze. It sounded exactly like Caleb. Mommy! Nia stopped breathing. The voice came again. Mommy! Her entire body reacted before her mind could. Caleb! She ran toward the darkness. Darius caught her arm. Nia, wait! That's my son! We don't know that. She pulled away. I know his voice. Mara raised the weapon. Everyone stay still. A tiny sound came from somewhere beyond the corridor. A soft sob. Mummy! Nia's heart broke. Caleb! The emergency lights flickered on. For 1 second the hallway appeared empty. Then a small figure stepped into the light. Nia screamed. Caleb! The boy looked exactly like her son. Same curls, same eyes, same pajamas, same frightened expression. Nia rushed forward, but Mara blocked her. Don't! Nia stared at the child. That's my son. Mara's face was pale. No. Nia looked at her. What? Mara whispered. That's not Caleb. The boy began crying. Mommy, please. Nia felt dizzy. Darius stared at the child. His face had gone completely blank. How? Mara lowered her weapon. Because there are 2 of them. The boy looked toward Darius. Daddy? Darius stepped backward. No. Nia covered her mouth. The boy's voice was identical, the same rhythm, the same tiny hesitation. But there was something different in his eyes, something older, something frightened. Mara moved closer. Don't touch him. Why? Because we don't know what they did to him. Nia's voice shook. Mara looked at the child. Genetic manipulation. Darius stared at her. You said there were 2 babies. There were, and both were mine. Mara hesitated. No. Nia's heart stopped. What? Mara looked at Darius. Only one is biologically yours. Darius stared at the boy. Which one? That is what Jeremiah wants you to discover. Suddenly a door slammed somewhere behind them. Mara spun around. Someone is coming. Darius grabbed Nia. We need to move. The boy cried harder. Don't leave me. Nia looked at him. She couldn't walk away from a child who looked like Caleb. Darius, we don't know who he is. He's a child. I know. He's terrified. I know. Then we're taking him. Mara shook her head. If we take him, Jeremiah will know exactly where we are. Nia looked at her. He already knows. That silenced everyone. A slow clap echoed through the corridor. Mara's face changed. Darius turned. Jeremiah Cole stepped into the light. He wore a dark suit, no weapon visible. His expression was almost peaceful. Well, he said, you finally found each other. Darius stepped in front of Nia. Where's my son? Jeremiah smiled. You still don't know which one. Darius's jaw tightened. Tell me. I've spent 7 years waiting for this moment. Nia stepped forward. What did you do to my children? Jeremiah looked at her. Your children, his smile widened. That's an interesting choice of words. Nia's voice became cold. If you hurt Caleb, I'll destroy everything you own. Jeremiah laughed. You think money is the only thing I care about? No, you're right. His gaze shifted to Darius. I care about legacy. Darius clenched his fists. You kidnapped a child for your legacies. Not kidnapped. Jeremiah gestured toward the boy. Protected. Nia stared at him. From what? From you. Her eyes widened. You're insane, perhaps. Jeremiah looked at Darius, but your father understood. Darius shook his head. My father hated what you were doing. Your father was weak. He tried to expose you, and that was his mistake. Nia's stomach dropped. You killed him. Jerah's smile disappeared. Careful, you killed him. I didn't. Then who did? Jeremiah said nothing. Darius stepped forward. Answer her. Jeremiah looked at him. Your father made enemies. You know exactly what happened. Yes, then tell me. Jeremiah sighed. Not yet. Darius moved suddenly. Mara grabbed his arm. Don't. Jeremiah smiled. You see? This is why I needed Nia. Darius froze. What? You're impulsive when she is involved. Jeremiah looked at Nia. She makes you weak. Nia stepped forward. No. Jeremiah raised an eyebrow. You're wrong. She looked directly into his eyes. She makes him human. For the first time, Jeremiah looked unsettled. Darius turned toward Nia. Their eyes met. Something passed between them, a silent promise. Then the lights went out again. Mara shouted, "Down!" Gunfire erupted. Darius grabbed Nia. They dropped behind a concrete wall. The child screamed. Mara fired toward the corridor. "Get the boy." Nia crawled toward him. "Come here." The child ran into her arms. She held him tightly. "Mommy." Nia's eyes filled with tears. She didn't know whether he was Caleb. She didn't care. He was a frightened child. That was enough. Darius reached them. "We're leaving," Nia nodded. Mara covered their retreat. They ran through a side passage. A gunshot struck the wall beside Nia. She screamed. Darius pushed her behind him. "Are you hit?" "No." "Are you sure?" "Yes." He looked at the child. "Can you run?" The boy nodded. They reached an emergency elevator. Mara punched the controls. "Come on." The doors opened. Everyone piled inside. The elevator descended. Nia held the child. Darius stared at him. The boy looked back. "Daddy." Darius's face crumpled. He crouched. "I don't know if I'm your daddy." The boy's eyes filled with tears. "You look like him." Darius swallowed. "Who? The man in the pictures?" "What pictures?" "Mommy's pictures." Nia froze. "What pictures?" The boy pointed at her. "You have them." Nia looked down. "I don't." "Yes, you do. Where?" "Under your bed." Nia's heart stopped. The old box, the one she had hidden for 7 years, the box containing photographs of Darius. She had never shown Caleb. Or had she? The elevator doors opened. They stepped into the underground parking area. Mara rushed toward a vehicle. "Get in." They climbed inside. Mara drove. For several minutes, nobody spoke. Then Nia turned toward the child. "What is your name?" The boy hesitated. "Ellie." Nia's heart sank. "Ellie?" He nodded. "Eli." "Where did you live?" "With Uncle Jeremiah." "For how long?" "All my life." Nia looked at Darius. He stared ahead. "Did he tell you about Caleb?" Eli nodded. "He said Caleb was bad." Nia's anger erupted. "Caleb is not bad." Eli looked frightened. "I know." "Then why did he say that?" "Because he said Caleb stole my life." Nia closed her eyes. "What does that mean?" Ellie looked down. "He said Mommy chose Caleb." Nia felt sick. "I never knew you existed." Ellie looked at her. "I know." "Who told you I was your mother?" "Uncle Jeremiah." "Why?" "He said one day you'd come back for me." Nia's eyes filled. "Ellie," she reached for his hand. He hesitated, then took it. His fingers were cold. Nia held them. "You didn't deserve any of this." Eli looked at her. "Neither did Caleb." Nia swallowed. "No." Mara glanced at them through the mirror. "We need to get both children." Darius turned. "Where is Caleb?" Mara's expression hardened. "Jeremiah moved him before we arrived." "Where?" "I don't know." "Then find out." "I am trying." Darius's voice became dangerous. "My son is in that man's hands." "I know, then we don't stop." Mara nodded. "I won't." Nia looked out the window. "Why did Jeremiah create another child?" Mara was silent. "Answer me." "It wasn't exactly another child." "What does that mean?" Mara took a breath. "Years ago, Jeremiah financed a genetic research program," Darius interrupted. "Project Calypso." Mara nodded. "The goal was to create genetically optimized tissue for transplantation." Nia frowned. "Transplantation? Compatition tissue can be difficult to find." "Jeremiah wanted a way to manufacture compatibility." Darius looked horrified. "You're saying they created children as biological donors?" Mara didn't answer. She didn't have to. Nia's hand tightened around Eli's. "No," Mara looked at her. "Ellie may have been created from genetic material taken from multiple sources." Darius stared. "Whose? We don't know." "Then how do we know he's related to Caleb?" Mara looked at Nia. "Because the children share almost identical genetic markers." Nia's heart pounded. "How? That's what we need to discover." The vehicle entered an underground facility. Mara stopped. "We're safe here." Darius looked around. "How safe?" "Safe enough." They entered a secure room. Mara brought up a computer. "I'm going to run both profiles." Nia sat with Eli. The child looked exhausted. "Do you know where Caleb is?" Eli shook his head. "Jeremiah moved him." "Where?" "I heard him say a name." "What name?" "Blackwater." Mara turned sharply. "Blackwater," Darius looked at her. "What Blackwater Harbor? What's there?" "An abandoned coal meridian laboratory." Darius stood. "Then we're going." Mara shook her head. "Not yet." "Why?" "Because Jeremiah wants you there." Darius stared. "Obviously." "No." Mara pointed to the screen. "Look." A map appeared. Multiple red dots surrounded Blackwater Harbor. "Those aren't security cameras." Darius studied the screen. "They're explosives." Nia's face went pale. "He wants to kill us." Mara shook her head. "No." She zoomed in. "He wants to kill the evidence." Darius looked at her. "And Caleb?" Mara nodded. "Yes." Darius immediately grabbed his phone. "Call the police. They're compromised. Then call federal agents." "I already did. And they're on their way." "How long?" 20 minutes. Darius shook his head. "We don't have 20 minutes. Nia stood. "Then we go." Darius looked at her. "No, you can't stop me." "I'm not asking you to stay behind because I don't trust you." "Then why?" "Because if something happens to you, Caleb loses his mother. And if something happens to you? Darius stepped closer. Caleb loses his father. The words stunned him. She looked away. I don't know if you're his father in the ways that matter, Darius swallowed. But biologically, yes. And you still want me to go? Nia nodded. Because I need you. Darius's eyes softened. I've waited 7 years to hear those words. Don't make me regret them. I won't. They left. The drive to Blackwater Harbor took 12 minutes. The abandoned facility appeared through the fog. No lights, no guards, no movement. Darius looked at Mara. Too quiet. I know. They entered. The doors opened automatically. Nia frowned. Why would they open? Mara's expression changed. Because they expected us. They stepped inside. A voice echoed through the speakers. Welcome, Jeremiah. Darius shouted. Where is Caleb? Safe. Bring him out. You know, Darius, you could have inherited everything. I don't want your empire. You always say that. Because I don't. Jeremiah laughed. You still don't understand. The lights came on. A glass chamber stood in the center of the room. Inside was Caleb. He was sitting on a chair, alive, unharmed. Nia screamed. Caleb! He looked up. Mommy! Nia ran toward the glass. Darius grabbed her. Wait! A red line appeared across the floor. Mara's eyes widened. Don't cross it. Nia stopped. Jeremiah's voice returned. Now that we're all together, it's time for the truth. A screen descended from the ceiling. A medical file appeared. The title read, Project Calypso CO7. Nia looked at the screen, then at Caleb. Why is his name there? Jeremiah answered. Because Caleb was never supposed to be your son. Nia's face went white. What? You were selected. Selected for what? To carry him. Darius stared. What are you talking about? Jeremiah continued. 7 years ago, Nia was unknowingly implanted with an embryo. Nia shook her head. No, you believed you conceived naturally. No, you didn't. Darius looked at Nia. She looked devastated. Jeremiah smiled. Caleb was created using Darius's genetic material. Darius stepped forward. You're lying. Am I? The screen changed. A laboratory record appeared. DNA source. Darius Cole, maternal carrier. Nia Bennett. Nia's knees weakened. Darius caught her. No. Jeremiah's voice became colder. You were never meant to fall in love. Nia looked toward the speaker. Then why? Because your pregnancy was part of an experiment. Darius's face filled with rage. You used her. Yes, you used my son. Yes, and Eli? Jeremiah laughed softly. Ellie is the control. Nia's blood froze. What does that mean? Ellie was created without your pregnancy. The screen changed. A second genetic file appeared. Subject EO7, Jeremiah continued. One child was raised naturally. He looked at Caleb's image. The other was raised under controlled conditions. Nia stared. You created 2 boys. Yes. Why? To determine which environment produced the stronger genetic response. Darius's voice became a whisper. You're a monster. Jeremiah ignored him. The experiment was supposed to continue for years. Nia looked at Caleb. But why is he sick? Jeremiah smiled. Because we needed to know what would happen when the 2 genetic profiles were exposed to the same disease. Nia stopped breathing. You made him sick. Not exactly. You infected him. We introduced a controlled trigger. Darius lunged toward the glass. You bastard! Mara grabbed him. Jeremiah laughed. And now you finally understand why I needed your son. Nia stared at him. What do you want, Darius's company? No. Jeremiah smiled. Then Caleb dies. Nia looked at the glass. Her son was crying. Mommy! She turned toward Darius. Give him what he wants. Darius stared. No, Darius, no. He'll kill Caleb. I won't give him the company. Why? Because that's exactly what he wants. Jeremiah laughed. Good. The room suddenly filled with smoke. Nia coughed. Darius grabbed her. Mara, I can't see. The glass chamber began filling with gas. Caleb started coughing. Mummy, Nia screamed. Caleb. Darius ran toward the chamber. A countdown appeared. 059, 058. Mara shouted, It's a containment system. Darius slammed his fist against the glass. Open it. No, 047. Caleb collapsed. Nia screamed. Mara rushed toward the control panel. Her fingers flew across the controls. It's locked. Darius looked at the countdown. 039. Then he noticed a small emergency lever behind the glass. He looked at Nia. I can reach it. How? Through the maintenance shaft. No. He was already moving. Darius climbed onto the platform. Mara shouted, Darius, don't! He disappeared into the shaft. 025. Nia pressed her hands against the glass. Her son wasn't moving. Please. 020. Darius reached the lever. He pulled. Nothing happened. 015. He pulled harder. The system resisted. 010. Darius screamed, Come on! 007. The lever snapped. The chamber doors exploded open. Darius fell through. Nia rushed inside. She grabbed Caleb. Baby, he coughed. His eyes opened. Mummy, Nia cried. Yes. Darius collapsed beside them. Caleb looked at him. Daddy. Darius couldn't speak. He simply reached out. Caleb took his hand. For one brief second, the three of them were together. Then the building shook. A massive explosion rocked the facility. Mara screamed. "The explosives!" Darius looked around. "Get them out!" Nia held Caleb. "Where's Eli?" Everyone froze. Eli was gone. A second later, the speakers came alive. Jeremiah's voice echoed through the smoke. "You saved the wrong child." Nia looked toward the hallway. A tiny silhouette stood at the far end, Ellie, and beside him stood Jeremiah. He held a detonator. "Now," Jeremiah said, "let's see which son you're willing to sacrifice." The detonator in Jeremiah Cole's hand looked impossibly small, yet Nia could not take her eyes off it. Smoke curled through the laboratory. Emergency lights flashed across the walls. Somewhere behind them, alarms screamed, and at the far end of the corridor stood Eli. His little hand was trapped inside Jeremiah's grip. "Let him go," Darius said. Jeremiah smiled. "Which one?" Darius froze. Jeremiah looked at Caleb, who was still weak in Nia's arms. Then he looked at Eli. "Your precious biological son." His eyes moved to Eli. "Or the child you never knew existed." Nia tightened her arms around Caleb. "You created this." Jeremiah's expression hardened. "No, I created an opportunity. You kidnapped children. I protected them. You tortured them. I tested them. You made my son sick." Jeremiah's jaw tightened. "And yet he survived." Nia stared at him in disbelief. "You call that survival?" Jeremiah lifted the detonator. "One button." Darius stepped forward. "Don't." Jeremiah smiled. "That's the problem with you, Darius. You always think you can negotiate. You want the company. I wanted the company." Jeremiah's eyes darkened. "Now I want something much more valuable." "What?" "Your surrender." Darius slowly lowered his hands. "What exactly does that mean?" "You will transfer controlling ownership of Cole Meridian to me." "No." Jeremiah pressed his thumb against the detonator. "Then one of the boys dies." Nia looked at Darius. "Do it." Darius turned. "Nia, do it. You don't know what he'll do afterward." "I don't care." She looked toward Caleb. Jeremiah laughed. "You see," he looked at Darius. "This is what love does." Darius's eyes hardened. "You don't understand love." "I understand power." "No." Darius took another step. "You understand fear." Jeremiah's smile faded. "And you are afraid," Darius nodded. "Yes." The admission surprised everyone. "I am terrified." He looked toward Caleb. "I've already lost 7 years with him." His voice broke. "I won't lose another second." Jeremiah stared at him. "So I'll give you the company." Nia looked at him. "Darius." He didn't turn. "But you let both boys go." Jeremiah smiled. "Agreed." Mara suddenly grabbed Nia's arm. "Don't believe him." Jeremiah laughed. "Smart woman." Darius stared. "You agreed." "I did." Jeremiah raised the detonator. "But you forgot something." "What?" "I never said I'd let them go alive." Darius's face changed. Jeremiah pressed the button. Nothing happened. He looked at it, pressed again. Still nothing. His smile disappeared. "What?" Mara smiled. "You really thought we'd let you control the explosives?" Jeremiah looked at her. "What did you do?" "I disabled the trigger 5 minutes ago." Jeremiah's expression turned murderous. Darius moved. He crossed the corridor in seconds. Jeremiah pulled Eli backward. A gun appeared in his hand. "Stop!" Darius froze. Nia held Caleb tighter. Jeremiah pointed the weapon at Eli. Another step and he dies. Ellie's eyes filled with tears. "Mommy." Nia's heart broke. She stepped forward. "Ellie." Jeremiah pressed the gun against the boy's head. "Don't." Nia stopped. "You don't want to hurt him." Jeremiah looked at her. "You're right." His voice softened. "I never wanted to hurt either of them." "Then let him go." "I need them." "For what?" Jeremiah's eyes shifted toward Caleb. "Because one of them carries the key." Darius frowned. "The key to what?" Jeremiah smiled. "Immortality." "Silence." Mara shook her head. "You're insane." "Am I?" Jeremiah looked at Caleb. "Do you know what happens when you combine a rare genetic mutation with controlled regeneration?" Darius stared. "You're talking about his blood." "Exactly." Nia's face went pale. "You've been harvesting his blood." Jeremiah nodded. "For years." Caleb coughed weakly. Nia looked horrified. "Why?" "Because his cells repair themselves faster than normal." Mara interrupted. "That doesn't mean immortality." "No." Jeremiah looked at her. "It means possibility." Darius stepped forward. "You've been using my son as a laboratory." Jeremiah smiled. "Your son saved your life before he was even born." Darius's fists clenched. "What?" "His genetic profile contains something your father discovered." Jeremiah paused. "A mutation." Darius stared. "And you wanted it." "I wanted to control it." Nia's voice shook. "You made him sick so you could study it." Jeremiah's eyes hardened. "The disease was a catalyst. You're a monster." "Perhaps." He looked at Eli. "But this boy was the control." Eli started crying. "I don't want to be a control." Nia's heart shattered. She looked at him. "You're not." Jeremiah tightened his grip. "Don't listen to her." Nia stared at the child. "You are not an experiment." Ellie looked at her. "Am I your son?" Nia's eyes filled. "I don't know." The boy's face crumpled. "But I want you to be my mommy." Nia broke. She took one step forward. Jeremiah raised the weapon. Nia, Darius shouted. She stopped. I won't let you use him. Jeremiah stared. Then make your choice. He pointed toward Caleb. Your biological son, then toward Eli. The boy who thinks you're his mother. Nia's tears fell. You're asking me to choose between children. Yes. I won't. Jeremiah smiled. You don't have a choice. A loud voice suddenly echoed from the entrance. Actually, he does. Everyone turned. Evelyn Cole stood in the doorway. She was holding a gun. Jeremiah's face changed. Mother. Evelyn stepped forward. You've always underestimated me. Jeremiah's eyes narrowed. You should be dead. I've heard that before. Darius stared. Grandmother? Evelyn looked at him. Get the children. Darius moved. Jeremiah raised his weapon. Evelyn fired. The bullet struck the weapon from Jeremiah's hand. He stumbled. Darius rushed forward. Jeremiah grabbed Eli and pulled him into the smoke. Ellie, Nia screamed. Darius chased him. The corridor erupted into chaos. Mara ran toward the control room. Evelyn covered Nia. Take Caleb and go. What about you? I'll handle Jeremiah. No, Nia. Evelyn's voice became commanding. Go. Nia picked up Caleb. He was barely conscious. Mommy, I've got you. She ran behind her. Gunshots echoed. Darius disappeared into the smoke. Darius, no answer. Nia reached the emergency exit. She turned. Darius, then she heard his voice. Go. She hesitated. Go. Nia ran outside. Rain poured over the harbor. An ambulance waited near the road. Medical workers rushed toward her. Child emergency. They took Caleb. Nia climbed inside. I'm his mother. We need to stabilize him. I'm coming. The doors closed. Caleb's face was pale. Nia held his hand. Stay with me. His eyes opened slightly. Mommy, yes. Daddy. Nia's heart. He's coming. Caleb smiled faintly. I like him. Nia laughed through tears. You've known him for 5 minutes. He looks sad. Nia kissed his forehead. He is. Why? Because he loves you. Caleb closed his eyes. I love him too. The ambulance accelerated. Nia looked through the rear window. Smoke rose from the laboratory. She couldn't see Darius or Eli or Evelyn. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number, she answered. Hello, Jeremiah's voice. You chose Caleb. Nia's blood ran cold. What did you do? You should have chosen Eli. Where is he? Jeremiah laughed. You'll never find him. Nia screamed. Where is my son? Which one? The call ended. Nia stared at the phone. Then the ambulance driver shouted, Ma'am, what? We have a problem. What? The driver pointed toward the road. 3 black vehicles were blocking the highway. Nia's blood froze. Don't stop. I have nowhere to go. Drive through them. The driver stared at her. Are you serious? Drive. The ambulance accelerated. The first SUV moved. The second didn't. The ambulance struck it. Metal screamed. Nia slammed against the wall. Caleb's monitor alarmed. Mommy, I'm here. The ambulance swerved. The third vehicle followed. Then suddenly police lights appeared behind them. Several patrol cars surrounded the SUVs. The attackers were forced to stop. Nia exhaled. For 1 second, she believed they were safe. Then her phone rang again. This time it was Darius. She answered immediately. Darius. His breathing was heavy. Nia, where are you? I'm at the harbor. Are you hurt? No. Where's Eliance? Nia's heart sank. Darius. He got away. She closed her eyes. How? I followed them into the tunnel. What happened? Jeremiah had another exit. Where? I don't know. Darius, I found something. What? Your old apartment? Nia froze. What? Jeremiah had it under surveillance. For 7 years, yes. Why? I found the recordings. What recordings? Everything. Nia's breath caught. What do you mean everything? Your pregnancy, Darius. Your doctor's visits. She couldn't speak. Caleb's birth. Her hands trembled. And the night you gave birth. Nia whispered. What happened? I don't know yet. Then find out. I am Darius. Yes? Bring my son home. He was silent. I will. The call ended. Nia looked at Caleb. His eyes were closed. The ambulance rushed toward the hospital. But inside Darius's mind, one image wouldn't disappear. The footage from 7 years ago. Nia walking into the hospital pregnant, a man following her, then another figure entering behind him. Darius had paused the recording. He had recognized the man, Dr. Malcolm Voss. But Voss wasn't alone. The person beside him was wearing a hospital badge, and the name on the badge had made Darius's blood turn cold. Evelyn Cole, his grandmother. Darius stared at the frozen image. No, he zoomed in. There she was. Evelyn, standing beside the doctor, holding a newborn baby, and behind them was Jeremiah. Darius's phone slipped from his hand. His grandmother had lied for 7 years, but why? Before he could think further, the door behind him opened. Evelyn stepped inside. Darius turned. You, she stopped. What happened? You were there. Evelyn went pale. Where? At Caleb's birth. She didn't answer, so Darius's voice became colder. You were there. Evelyn closed her eyes. Yes. Why I was trying to save him. From what? From Jeremiah. You worked with Voss. I had no choice. Darius laughed bitterly. Everyone keeps saying that. Evelyn stepped closer. Listen to me. No, Darius, you knew about Nia. Yes, you knew about Caleb. Yes, you knew Jeremiah was experimenting on him. Evelyn's eyes filled. Yes, Darius stared. How could you? I was trying to stop it. You let it happen. I didn't. You were there. I was trying to get Caleb out, but you didn't. I failed. Darius's voice broke. Why didn't you tell me? Because I believed you were being watched. I was. By Jeremiah. And you thought lying to me would protect me. Yes, Darius shook his head. You destroyed my life, Evelyn whispered. I know. Then she reached into her coat. She pulled out a small envelope. I kept this for 7 years. Darius took it. What is it? A letter. From who? Your father? Darius stared. My father died 6 years ago. He wrote it before he died. Why didn't you give it to me? Because he told me not to. Darius opened the envelope. Inside was one handwritten page. Darius, if you are reading this, the truth has already escaped. Trust Nia, trust your heart. But do not trust the child you were told was yours. Darius stopped reading. His eyes widened. At the bottom was one final sentence. The boy you call Caleb is not your biological son. Darius's hands began shaking. No, Evelyn looked at him. I tried to tell you. He looked up. You said Caleb was mine. I said Jeremiah believed he was. Darius's face drained. Then who is Caleb? Evelyn whispered. That is the question your father died trying to answer. Meanwhile, at Mercy Heights, Nia waited beside Caleb's bed. Doctors surrounded him. His condition had worsened. We need to start the transplant protocol, Dr. Harper said. Nia nodded. Use Darius. We need confirmation. He's compatible. We need to know the genetic relationship. Nia looked at her. Why? Because his sample isn't matching the original profile. Nia froze. What? Dr. Harper held the report. We compared the blood sample Darius provided with Caleb's existing genetic profile. And they don't match as closely as expected. Nia stared. But you said he was a strong donor match. He is. Then what's wrong? Dr. Harper lowered her voice. Darius is compatible enough to donate. She paused. But he may not be Caleb's biological father. Nia felt the room spin. What? Dr. Harper looked at her. The genetic evidence suggests something impossible. What? Caleb's DNA contains markers neither you nor Darius should have passed to him. Nia's heart stopped. Then who is his father? Dr. Harper didn't know, but before she could answer, the hospital doors burst open. A man rushed inside. He was bleeding, his shirt was torn, his face was bruised. Nia recognized him immediately. Darius. She ran toward him. What happened? He grabbed her shoulders. Nia, what? Caleb is not what they told us. Her heart pounded. What are you saying? Darius looked toward the hospital room. Your son may have been switched at birth. Nia stopped breathing. What? Darius's eyes filled with pain. And my grandmother may have known. Nia stepped backward. No, I found proof. Where? Your old apartment. What proof? He pulled out his father's letter. Nia read it. Her hands began shaking, then another thought struck her. Darius, what? If Caleb was switched? She looked toward the hospital room. Where is the baby I gave birth to? Darius didn't answer, because at that exact moment a nurse came running down the hallway. Dr. Harper, the doctor turned. What? We found something in the hospital archives. What? The nurse held up a file. 7 years ago, 2 newborn boys were admitted under emergency identification. Nia's face went pale. 2? The nurse nodded, and one of them was listed as missing. Darius stepped forward. Which one? The nurse looked at the file. Her expression changed. The child listed as missing was... She swallowed. Caleb Bennett. Nia's knees nearly gave out. Then who is lying in that room? The nurse slowly turned toward the glass. Everyone looked at the sleeping boy. And suddenly the monitor beside Caleb's bed began to beep. Once, twice, then a warning flashed across the screen. Billionaire Promfel Utos, patient ID. Nia stared in horror, and behind her Darius whispered the words neither of them wanted to hear. We've been saving the wrong boy. Nia couldn't move. The words seemed to echo through the hospital corridor. We've been saving the wrong boy. She looked through the glass at the child lying beneath the white blanket. His chest rose and fell. His face was pale. His curls were damp with sweat. He looked like Caleb. He sounded like Caleb. He had called her mommy. And yet the screen beside his bed was telling her that the hospital didn't know who he was. No, Nia whispered. Darius stepped beside her. We need to stay calm. Don't tell me to stay calm. I know. That is my son. Darius looked through the glass. I know. You don't know. His eyes met hers. No, his voice was quiet, but I want to. Dr. Harper approached them. Ms. Bennett, we need to move the patient immediately. Why? Because the genetic profile attached to his file has been altered. By whom? We don't know. Nia pointed toward the room. That's Caleb. Dr. Harper looked at her. We don't know that anymore. Nia's eyes filled with tears. You delivered him, yes. You remember him. I remember delivering a baby. Then look at him. Dr. Harper looked through the glass. I haven't, the doctor hesitated. He looks exactly like the child in your photographs, because he's my son. Maybe. Nia's face hardened. Maybe? Dr. Harper lowered her voice. But the genetic evidence is telling us something different. Darius looked at the report. What changed? We don't know. Run another test, we already have. Run another, we are. How long? 20 minutes. Darius shook his head. We don't have 20 minutes. Nia looked at him. Why? He pointed toward the security monitor. 3 men in medical uniforms had just entered the hospital. They're not hospital stuff. Nia stared. How do you know? Because I've seen them before. Where? At Blackwater. Dr. Harper immediately locked the doors. What do they want? Darius's expression darkened. The child. Nia moved toward Caleb's room. Then we're taking him. Dr. Harper shook her head. If he's unstable, moving him could be dangerous. If we leave him here, someone could take him. The lights flickered. Darius looked up. They're inside the building. Dr. Harper turned to the nurse. Lock down pediatric care. The nurse ran. Darius pulled Nia away from the door. Stay behind me. She shook her head. No, Nia, I am done hiding behind people. He stared at her. I need you alive, and I need my son alive, then listen to me. He took her hand. For a moment, everything around them disappeared. The hospital, the alarms, the fear, just his eyes, her eyes. 7 years of pain between them. I lost you once, he whispered. You didn't lose me. I thought I did. You left, I know. You keep saying you know, because I do. Nia swallowed. Darius squeezed her hand. I can't undo those years. No. But if we get through tonight... He stopped. What? He shook his head. Nothing. Say it. His eyes softened. If we get through tonight, I want the chance to become the man you needed 7 years ago. Nia's lips trembled. And if I don't want you, then I'll accept it. You make it sound easy. It won't be. A gunshot cracked from the hallway. Nia jumped. Darius pulled her behind him. Stay here. No, Nia. She grabbed his arm. Bring him back. I will. Darius disappeared around the corner. The hospital erupted into chaos. Security guards rushed through the corridor. Doctors shouted. Nurses pushed carts against doors. Then someone screamed. Nia looked toward Caleb's room. A man in medical clothing stood beside the bed. He was disconnecting the monitors. Hey! He turned. His eyes met hers. Then he pulled a syringe from his pocket. Nia ran toward him. Get away from my son. The man grabbed Caleb. Nia attacked him. They struggled. The syringe flew across the floor. The man shoved her backward. Her head struck the wall. Everything blurred. Mommy! Caleb screamed. Nia forced herself upright. Caleb! The man lifted the child. Then Darius appeared. He moved like lightning. He grabbed the man's wrist and slammed him against the wall. Put him down. The man struggled. Darius twisted his arm. The man dropped Caleb. Nia caught him. She held him against her chest. Are you okay? Caleb nodded. Mommy, he tried to hurt me. I know. Darius restrained the attacker. Security arrived. Take him. 2 guards dragged the man away. Darius immediately turned toward Nia. Are you hurt? She touched the back of her head. I'll be fine. Are you sure? Yes. His eyes moved to Caleb. Is he okay? Nia nodded. Caleb looked at Darius. Daddy. Darius froze. Nia looked at him. The word hung in the air. Darius crouched. I'm here. Caleb reached for him. Darius took his hand. You're safe. Caleb smiled. Then his eyes closed. His body went limp. Nia screamed. Caleb! Dr. Harper rushed in. Get him back on the monitor. Doctors surrounded the bed. Nia stood frozen. Darius held her. Don't let go. I can't lose him. You won't. I can't. You won't. The monitor beeped slow, then faster. Dr. Harper looked at the numbers. His oxygen is dropping. Do something. We're trying. Darius looked at the doctor. Use my blood. We need the genetic confirmation. Forget the test. We can't. Why? Because if his DNA profile has been altered, we don't know whether your blood is safe. It's a match, according to the original records. Then use it. Dr. Harper looked at Nia. She nodded. Do it. The doctor hesitated, then nodded. Prepare the donor. Darius immediately followed the nurses. Nia watched him disappear. For the first time, she realized something. He wasn't running. He wasn't afraid of the responsibility. He wasn't asking questions. He was simply doing whatever it took to save the child. Their child, maybe. The thought frightened her. An hour later, Darius sat in a donor chair. Blood flowed through the tube. His eyes remained fixed on the ceiling. Dr. Harper monitored the process. Your blood is compatible. Darius nodded. Good, but the genetic relationship is still unclear. Save him first. We will. Across the hall, Nia sat beside Caleb. His eyes were closed. She stroked his cheek. I don't care what the records say. Her voice trembled. You are my baby. A tear slid down her face. I carried you. She kissed his forehead. I remember your first cry. She closed her eyes. I remember holding you. A memory surfaced. 7 years ago, a hospital room, pain, exhaustion, a newborn crying. Nia remembered the nurse placing the baby against her chest. But there was something she had never understood. The nurse had been wearing a green surgical cap, not the standard blue one. And another nurse had entered the room, a woman Nia had never seen before. She had whispered something to Dr. Voss. Then Nia had fallen asleep. When she woke, Caleb was in her arms. She had never questioned it, until now Nia opened her eyes. Dr. Harper, the doctor approached. Yes? What time was my son born? According to the records, 11:42 p.m. Nia shook her head. No. What? I remember the clock. What did it say? 12:07. Dr. Harper frowned. That doesn't match. No. Nia sat upright. I remember because I looked at it when they brought him to me. Dr. Harper's expression changed. Then the birth time in the records may be wrong. Why? I don't know. Nia stared at her. Find out. The doctor nodded. I will. She left. Nia looked at Caleb, then at the clock. 12:07 a.m. 7 years later, she was still trapped inside the same mystery. Meanwhile, Darius finished the donation. He stood. A nurse handed him a glass of water. He barely drank it. Can I see him? He walked into the hallway. Evelyn was waiting. Darius stopped. You knew. She looked exhausted. I knew there was a possibility. You lied. I was protecting you. No. He stepped closer. You were protecting yourself. Evelyn's eyes filled. That's not fair. Fair. He laughed bitterly. My son could die because you kept secrets. I didn't know which child was yours. You knew about the experiment. Yes. You knew Nia was involved. Yes. You knew about Caleb. Yes. And you did nothing. I tried. How? I stole records. What records? Genetic files. Where are they? Evelyn looked toward the security room. Hidden. Where? She hesitated. Inside your father's old watch. Darius stared. My father's watch? Yes. Why didn't you tell me? Because Jeremiah was watching you. You keep saying that, because it's true. Darius turned away. I don't know if I can trust you. You shouldn't. He looked back. What? You shouldn't trust anyone completely right now. She lowered her voice. Not even me. Darius stared at her. Then his phone buzzed. A message, unknown number. Open the watch. He looked at Evelyn. She shook her head. Don't. Why? Because whoever sent that knows where you are. Darius stared at the screen. Another message appeared. Your mother didn't die in an accident. Darius froze. What? Evelyn's face changed. What does it say? He showed her. She covered her mouth. Darius whispered, My mother. Evelyn looked away. What do you know, Darius? What do you know? She was investigating Jeremiah. And she disappeared. You told me she died. I was told she died. You never saw her body. No. Darius stared. My mother could be alive. Evelyn didn't answer. He stepped backward. 7 years ago, his life had been shattered. Now every memory was becoming a lie. His father, his mother, his uncle, his grandmother, and Nia. He looked through the glass toward Caleb. One thought remained, his son. If Caleb was truly his, a nurse rushed out of the room. Dr. Harper. The doctor ran toward her. What happened? The patient woke up. Nia stood. Caleb? The nurse nodded. Nia rushed inside. Baby. Caleb opened his eyes. Mommy. She kissed him. I'm here. He looked around. Where's Daddy? He's nearby. Can I see him? Yes. Darius entered. Caleb smiled. Daddy. Darius's eyes filled. He sat beside him. Hey, little man. Caleb looked at his arm. Did you give me your blood? Darius nodded. Yes. Does that mean I'm yours? The room went silent. Nia looked at Darius. He looked at Caleb. I don't know. Caleb's smile faded. But I want you to be. Darius swallowed. So do I. Caleb reached for his hand. Darius took it. Then maybe you are. Darius smiled through tears. Maybe. Caleb closed his eyes again. I like maybe. Nia laughed softly. The moment was almost peaceful. Then the monitor beeped. The numbers changed. Dr. Harper rushed in. What happened? Caleb's heart rate dropped. Get oxygen. Nia stepped back. What is happening? We don't know. Darius looked at the monitor. A strange pattern appeared. Dr. Harper stared. That's impossible. What? The transplant is causing a genetic reaction. Is he rejecting it? No. She looked at Darius. His cells are changing. Nia's heart pounded. Changing how? Dr. Harper stared at the screen. His bone marrow is beginning to regenerate. Darius frowned. Is that good? The doctor didn't answer. She looked frightened. It should not be happening this quickly. Nia stepped closer. What does that mean? Dr. Harper whispered. It means Jeremiah was telling the truth. Darius's face hardened. About the mutation. The doctor nodded. But there's something else. What? She pointed at the screen. The pattern isn't only coming from Caleb. Darius looked at his own arm. His blood sample was changing too. Dr. Harper's voice dropped. The donor cells are responding to each other. Nia stared. Responding to what? The doctor looked at them. To the same genetic sequence. Darius's expression changed. Then Caleb is my son. Dr. Harper shook her head. Not necessarily. What? The same sequence appears in another profile. Which one? She pulled up the archived data. The third profile appeared. Subject CO7. Darius stared. That was the first profile. Yes, whose DNA is it? Dr. Harper looked at him. We don't know. Find out, we're trying. Then the hospital computer flashed field identification complete. Darius leaned closer. The name appeared, Malcolm Voss. Nia's face went white. The doctor Darius stared. Voss's DNA was used in the experiment. Dr. Harper shook her head. That's not the worst part. What? She opened another file. Caleb's genetic profile contains a 43% match to Voss. Nia couldn't breathe. 43, Darius stared. That's not enough to be his father. No, Dr. Harper shook her head. But it's too much to be random, Nia whispered. Then what is Caleb? Before anyone could answer, a hospital employee ran into the room. Dr. Harper! What? The police found something. What? They found a vehicle abandoned 3 blocks away. Nia's heart pounded. Was Caleb taken from it? No, the employee looked at Darius. They found a body. Darius's expression hardened. Whose? The employee swallowed. Jeremiah Cole. Silence. Nia looked at Darius. What, he's dead? Darius shook his head. That isn't possible. The body was identified. Where? 3 blocks from here. Darius grabbed his jacket. I need to see it. Nia stood. I'm coming. No, yes, Nia, if Jeremiah is dead, I need to know who killed him. Darius nodded. They left the room. Outside, police officers had surrounded the area. A body lay beneath a white sheet. Darius approached. The detective stopped him. Mr. Cole, that's my uncle. We believe so. Believe. The face was badly damaged. Darius pulled back the sheet. He stared, then stepped away. That isn't him. The detective frowned. How do you know? Because Jeremiah had a scar on his left hand. He pointed. This man doesn't. The detective's expression changed. So you're saying the victim was made to look like him? Yes. Nia stared at the body. Then where is Jeremiah? Darius looked around. A police officer approached. We found this near the body. He handed Darius a small envelope. Darius opened it. Inside was a photograph. Nia looked over his shoulder. Her heart stopped. The photograph showed a woman standing beside a hospital bassinet. The woman was Evelyn, the baby was Caleb. But the photograph had been taken before Nia entered the delivery room, and written across the bottom were 4 words. He was your son. Nia looked at Darius. Your grandmother knew. Darius didn't answer. He turned the photograph over. There was another message. The wrong baby went home. Nia's blood ran cold. What does that mean? Darius looked at her. I think we finally know why Caleb's DNA doesn't match. Why? Because the baby I gave you 7 years ago may not be the baby who came home with you. Nia shook her head. No. Darius's phone rang, unknown number. He answered. A woman's voice whispered, Darius. His eyes widened. Who is this? The woman started crying. I'm sorry. Who are you? You don't know me. Then how do you know my name? I was there. Where? At the hospital 7 years ago. Darius looked at Nia. The woman continued. I helped switch the babies. Nia's heart stopped. Who are you? The woman whispered. I'm the nurse who took your real son. Darius gripped the phone. Where is he? Silence. Then the woman said he was taken to a private facility. Which one? Blackwater. Nia's face went pale. But Blackwater was destroyed. No. The woman began crying harder. It was never destroyed. Darius's blood ran cold. Then where is my son? The woman whispered. Under the hospital. Darius froze. What? There is another facility beneath Mercy Heights. Nia stared at him. The woman continued. And your son has been there for 7 years. The call ended. Nia could barely speak. Darius. He looked at her. We're standing on top of it. At that exact moment, the hospital lights went completely black, and from somewhere beneath their feet came the sound of a child crying. Mommy, Mommy. The tiny voice rose through the darkness beneath Mercy Heights. Nia stopped breathing. She knew that voice, or thought she did. For 7 years, she had memorized every sound her son made. The way he laughed when he was trying not to, the way he cried when he was frightened, the sleepy whisper he used when he needed her at night. And now that same voice was coming from somewhere beneath the hospital floor. Mummy. Nia grabbed Darius's arm. That's Caleb. Darius looked toward the floor. Maybe. He turned toward her. We've learned the hard way that nothing here is what it seems. Another cry came. Mummy. Nia stepped toward the wall. Caleb, the voice answered. Mummy, please. She began pounding on the floor. I'm here. Darius caught her. Nia, stop. Let me go. You don't know what's underneath us. I don't care. You could fall through. My son is down there. Then we're going down together. The emergency lights flickered back on. Dr. Harper stood frozen near the doorway. Her face had gone pale. Darius looked at her. You knew. She shook her head. I didn't know about a facility. Then why are you looking at me like that? I've worked here for 26 years. And there was an old basement. How old? Older than Mercy Heights. Nia stared. What's underneath it? Dr. Harper swallowed. Nothing should be. That's not an answer. She took a breath. Before this hospital was built, There was a private research clinic on this land. Darius's eyes narrowed. Coal Meridian, I don't know. Who owned it? I never saw the original records. Then where are they below? Nia looked toward the floor. Then take us there. Dr. Harper hesitated. There is no official access. Darius stepped closer. Then we'll make one. A police officer rushed into the hallway. Mr. Cole, Darius turned. What? We've lost communication with the officers stationed outside. How many? 6. Nia's stomach dropped. Are they alive? We don't know. Darius looked at Mara. Locked down the hospital. Mara shook her head. The security system isn't responding. Then shut the power off. That will disable the elevators. Do it, Darius. Do it. Mara ran. Nia looked at Darius. What are you thinking? That whoever is beneath us wants us to come down, and we're going anyway. Yes. Why? Because they made one mistake. What? They told us where to look. Darius grabbed a flashlight. Dr. Harper followed them. I know another way. She led them through an old surgical wing. The corridor was abandoned. Dust covered the walls. Several doors had been sealed with metal plates. At the end stood an old elevator. Darius examined the controls. There are no buttons. Dr. Harper reached beneath the panel. She pressed something hidden. A small green light appeared. The doors opened. Nia stared. This hospital has a secret elevator. Dr. Harper stepped inside. It wasn't built for the hospital. Darius followed. Who was it built for? She looked at him. People who weren't supposed to be here. The doors closed. The elevator descended. 10 seconds, 20, 30. The floor numbers never appeared. Then the elevator stopped. The doors opened. A long white corridor stretched into darkness. Nia's heart hammered. The walls were covered in faded medical symbols. Mara whispered, Project Calypso. Darius looked at her. You've been here before? No. Then how do you know? I saw the files. They moved forward. A monitor suddenly flickered on. A video began playing. A younger version of Jeremiah Cole appeared. Beside him stood Dr. Malcolm Voss. And between them was a newborn baby. Nia stopped. That baby. The image zoomed in. A hospital bracelet was visible. Nia Bennett infant Caleb. Her legs nearly gave out. Darius caught her. The video continued. Jeremiah spoke. The carrier must never know. Voss nodded. She'll believe the child is hers. And the biological parents. Darius is unaware. And the second, infant. Voss looked toward another bassinet. Ready. Nia covered her mouth. 2 babies. 2 bassinets. 2 lives. The video changed. A nurse entered. Nia recognized her. The same woman from the photograph. The woman who had called Darius. She picked up one baby, then the other. Anne switched their blankets. Nia whispered, No. The screen went black. A message appeared. They switch obscured at 12:03 a.m. Nia stared. My son was switched. Darius looked at her. Which one? She couldn't answer. The monitor changed again. A DNA profile appeared, then another. The first was labeled, Baby A, biological child of Nia Bennett and Darius Cole. The second, Baby B, origin. Nia's hands shook. Which one came home with me? The screen displayed, Baby B. Nia stopped breathing. No, Darius stared. The boy upstairs isn't our biological son. Nia's world collapsed. She slid against the wall. No. Darius knelt beside her. Nia, no. She pushed him away. I raised him. I know. He calls me Mommy. I know. I remember every day. I know. He is my son. Darius's eyes filled. Yes. Then I don't care what the DNA says. I know. He is my son. Darius nodded. He is. Nia looked at him. But where is our biological child? Before he could answer, a door opened at the end of the corridor. A nurse stood there. She looked terrified. Are you Darius Cole? Yes. My name is Lena Brooks. Darius froze. Were you the nurse who called me? She nodded. I've been hiding for 7 years. Where is my son? Lena looked at Nia. Before I tell you, you need to understand something. Tell me. The child upstairs is not the only child you raised. Nia frowned. What does that mean? Lena pointed deeper into the facility. Come with me. They followed her. The corridor became colder. Behind a reinforced door was a small room. Inside were dozens of files. Photographs, medical records, birth certificates, and children's drawings. Nia stared. What is this? Lena whispered. Every child connected to Project Calypso. Darius picked up a file. 37. Mara stared. 37 children. Lena nodded. Some were born naturally, some were created. Yes. Nia looked horrified. What happened to them? Most died. Darius's expression hardened, and the survivors? Lena looked toward the far wall. 3. Nia's heart pounded. Who? Lena pointed to 3 photographs. The first was Caleb, the second was Eli, the third was a little girl. Darius stared. Who's she? Lena's face changed. She is the reason Jeremiah never stopped. Nia looked at the photograph. The girl was about 8 years old. Dark skin, curly hair, bright eyes, and an unmistakable resemblance to Darius. Her name is Amaya. Darius whispered. She looks like my mother. Lena nodded. She carries the same mutation. Darius stared. She's my sister? No. Lena hesitated. She is genetically related to you. How? She was created from your father's genetic material. Darius stepped backward. My father? Yes. Nia looked at the files. Why would they create her? Because Jeremiah believed your family carried a genetic sequence that could change medicine forever. Mara shook her head. This is beyond illegal. Lena looked at her. It was never medicine. What was it? Power. Darius stared. Where is Amaya? Lena looked toward the locked door. She's still here. A soft knock came from behind it. Everyone froze. Knock, knock, knock. Nia stepped closer. Who's there? A child's voice answered. I'm Amaya. Darius's face changed. He walked toward the door. Amaya? Yes. Are you alone? Yes. Are you hurt? No. Can you open the door? I don't have the key. Darius looked at Lena. She pulled out a key. The lock clicked. The door opened. A young black girl stood inside. She wore a plain grey sweatshirt. Her hair was braided. Her eyes were enormous. She stared at Darius, then whispered, You look like him. Who, your father? Darius swallowed. Do you know my father? Amaya nodded. He used to come here. Nia looked at Lena. Why? Amaya answered. He wanted to take me away. Darius's heart pounded. What happened? Jeremiah stopped him. Darius's jaw tightened. Did my father know about Caleb? Amaya nodded. He knew about all of you, all of us. Amaya looked at Nia. Your baby. Nia stepped forward. Where is he? Amaya looked toward the ceiling. He was here. When? Today. Nia's heart stopped. Caleb was here? Amaya nodded. He was brought down this morning, but he's upstairs. Amaya shook her head. That's not your Caleb. Nia closed her eyes. I know. Your real Caleb was here. Darius stepped closer. Where is he now? Amaya pointed toward a door. He was taken to the lower level. Darius looked at Mara. Lower than this, she nodded slowly. There's another floor. Lena looked frightened. No. Darius turned. What? You can't go there. Why? Because that's where Jeremiah kept the children he couldn't control. Nia stepped forward. Then that's where we're going. Lena shook her head. You don't understand. I understand enough. You may not come back. Nia looked at her. My son is down there. Then I'm going. Darius nodded. So am I. Mara raised her weapon. Then we're all going. They found a staircase behind a sealed laboratory. The lower they went, the colder it became. At the bottom stood a massive steel door. No handle, no keypad. Just a fingerprint scanner. Darius placed his hand against it. Nothing. Nia tried hers. Nothing. Amaya stepped forward. The door opened. Everyone stared. Darius looked at her. How? Amaya shrugged. Jeremiah said I was the key. The door opened fully. A massive underground laboratory appeared. Rows of glass chambers lined the walls. Some were empty. Some contained medical equipment. At the center was one chamber. Inside lay a child. Nia ran forward. Caleb. The boy lifted his head. Mommy? Nia burst into tears. She pressed both hands against the glass. Baby. The boy stood. Mommy. Darius stepped beside her. He stared at the child. Same eyes, same curls, same face. But there was something different. The boy looked older, tired, frightened, and his wrist carried a hospital bracelet. He read it. Caleb Bennett, birth date, 7 years ago. She covered her mouth. This is him. Darius looked at the chamber. How do we get him out? Mara searched the controls. It's locked. Break it. It's reinforced. Darius looked at Amaya. Can you open it? She nodded. I can try. She walked to the control panel, placed her hand against it. The system activated. Darius granted. The chamber opened. Nia ran inside. She dropped to her knees. Caleb ran into her arms. Mommy. She held him so tightly he could barely breathe. I found you, he cried. I knew you would. Nia kissed his hair. I promised. Darius stood nearby. Caleb looked at him. Daddy? Darius couldn't speak. He knelt. Caleb reached for him. Darius took his hand. I've been looking for you. Caleb nodded. I know. How? Mommy talked about you. Nvia froze. When? Every night. Nia looked away. She had never realized Caleb could hear her. Darius smiled through tears. I'm sorry I wasn't there. Caleb studied him. Are you going to leave? Darius shook his head. Never. Caleb nodded. Okay. Darius pulled him into his arms. Nia watched them. For 7 years she had imagined what it would look like if Darius ever held his son. She had imagined joy, but she hadn't imagined grief, because now she knew there was another child upstairs, a child she had also loved, a child who had never asked to be part of this. Nia turned toward the exit. We have to go back for him. Darius nodded. Yes. Then a voice came from the speakers. You're finally here, Jeremiah. Darius looked around. Where are you? You're standing inside my greatest achievement. Nia held Caleb tighter. Leave us alone. Jeremiah laughed. I don't think you understand. What? The boy you just found isn't the one I was protecting. Darius stared. Then who is? Jeremiah's voice became cold. Amaya. Everyone looked at the girl. She stood motionless. Darius stepped toward her. What does he mean? Amaya's eyes filled with tears. I don't know. Jeremiah continued. She isn't your sister. Darius froze. She is the original. Mara frowned. Original what? Jeremiah laughed. The first successful subject. Amaya began trembling. Darius moved toward her. Don't listen to him. But Jeremiah continued. She was born naturally. Nia stared. What? She is the daughter of Darius's father and another woman. Darius's face went pale. My father had another child? No. Jeremiah's voice softened. She is your father's daughter. Darius looked at Amaya. Then who is her mother? Jeremiah answered. Evelyn. Silence. Darius's eyes widened. My grandmother? Yes. Evelyn had been standing behind them. She suddenly collapsed to her knees. Darius turned. Grandmother? She covered her face. Darius, you lied to me. I was young. You had a child with my grandfather. No. Then what? Evelyn looked at Amaya. She was created from my genetic material and your grandfather's. Darius stared. My family created her. Yes. Why? Evelyn cried. Because your grandfather wanted a child who would inherit the mutation. Nia stepped closer. And Amaya was the first? Evelyn nodded. Before Jeremiah took control, Darius looked at Amaya. She was crying silently. He approached her. Did you know? She shook her head. I only knew they said I was special. Darius knelt. You're not a test. Amaya looked at him. What am I? He swallowed. You're a child. She started crying. Darius pulled her into his arms. Nia watched. For the first time she understood. This wasn't only about her son, it was about every child who had been turned into a secret. Then a loud explosion shook the facility. The ceiling cracked. Mara shouted, We need to move. Jeremiah's voice echoed. You can't leave. Darius looked toward the speakers. Why? Because the lower level is sealed. Metal doors slammed shut around them. The room began filling with gas. Nia grabbed Caleb. Again, Mara ran toward the controls. It's another containment sequence. Darius shouted, Open the doors! I can't! The gas thickened. Caleb began coughing. Amaya collapsed. Darius caught her. Nia screamed, Help her! Mara looked at the timer 0:59. Darius's eyes hardened. There's always a way out. He looked around, then noticed a narrow ventilation shaft. Everyone, over there! Nia carried Caleb. Darius carried Amaya. They climbed. The gas rose behind them. 30 seconds. 20:10. They crawled through the shaft. The explosion came. The entire laboratory shook. The ventilation tunnel collapsed behind them. Nia screamed, Darius! I'm here. They reached a maintenance room. Everyone collapsed. Caleb coughed. Amaya was unconscious. Nia checked her pulse. She's alive. Darius exhaled. Then they heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming from the other side of the room. A man stepped into the light. Darius raised his weapon. Who are you? The man removed his mask. Nia's heart stopped. It was Dr. Malcolm Voss. Alive, Darius stared. You're dead. Voss smiled. That's what Jeremiah wanted everyone to believe. Nia stepped backward. You worked on my son. Yes, you switched my babies. Voss looked at her. Yes. Darius's voice became deadly. Where is Jeremiah? Voss smiled. Dead. Then who is controlling this facility? Voss's smile disappeared. You still don't understand. He looked at Caleb, then at Amaya, then at Darius. Jeremiah was never the mastermind. Darius froze. Who was? Voss looked toward Nia. The person who started Project Calypso. Nia's heart pounded. Who? Voss whispered, Your mother. Nia stopped breathing. My mother died when I was 6. Voss shook his head. No. He stepped closer. Your mother disappeared. Nia stared. Why? Voss's eyes hardened. Because she discovered what your family had been doing. My family? Your father was part of it. Nia's mind raced. My father wasn't a scientist. He didn't need to be. Voss smiled. He was the financier. Nia felt sick. And my mother? She tried to stop him. Where is she? Voss looked at her. Closer than you think. Suddenly a woman stepped out from behind him, older. Elegant, her hair streaked with silver. Nia stared at her face. The world seemed to stop. She knew those eyes. She knew that voice. A voice she hadn't heard since childhood. Hello, Nia. Nia's lips parted. Mom, the woman smiled. Yes. And behind her, the doors locked again. Nia could not breathe. Her mother stood only a few feet away, alive. Older, but unmistakable. The woman who had haunted Nia's childhood dreams was standing inside an underground laboratory as if the last 24 years had never happened. Mom, the woman took one step forward. My name is Celeste. Nia shook her head. No, it's really me. You died. I disappeared. You left me. Celeste's eyes filled with tears. I never wanted to leave you. Nia laughed bitterly. You never wanted to? Her voice echoed through the chamber. You vanished when I was 6. I was forced to. By whom? Celeste looked toward Darius. By people who are still trying to control you. Darius stepped in front of Nia. Stay away from her. Celeste looked at him. You're Darius Cole. Yes, I knew your father. Darius's jaw tightened. Everyone seems to know my father. He knew my husband. Nia froze. My father? Sestet nodded. They worked together. You're lying. I wish I were. Nia stared at her. What was Project Calypso? Celeste looked toward the children. A mistake. Voss laughed. A profitable mistake. Celeste glanced at him. You still think everything can be bought. Everything has a price. Not everything. Voss lifted his gun. Enough. Darius stepped forward. What do you want? Voss looked at Caleb, the child. Darius's eyes narrowed. You've had him for 7 years, and now his biological father has finally arrived. Nia tightened her arms around Caleb. You're not taking him. Voss smiled. You don't understand what he carries. He carries my love. Voss's expression remained cold. He carries a genetic sequence worth billions. Darius looked at Celeste. Why does he need Caleb? Celeste answered quietly. Because Caleb isn't simply a carrier. Voss turned toward her. Don't, he deserves to know. Darius stepped closer. Know what? Celeste looked at Nia. The mutation wasn't discovered in your family. She paused. It was created. Nia felt cold. Created? Celeste nodded. Your grandfather was one of the scientists. Darius's eyes widened. My grandfather? Yes. Then why was my father involved? He inherited the research. And you? Celeste looked away. I worked for them. Nia stared. You were part of it. At first, and then I realized what they were doing. What were they doing? Celeste looked at Caleb. Trying to create a human being who could regenerate damaged organs. Darius whispered, Caleb. Yes. Nia shook her head. No. Celeste continued. Your pregnancy changed everything. Nia remembered the sudden illness, the strange doctors, the tests she never requested, the blood samples taken without explanation. My pregnancy? Celeste nodded. You carried a child whose DNA activated the sequence naturally. Nia stared at Caleb. He wasn't created. No, he was born naturally, yes, Voss interrupted, and that made him far more valuable. Nia's eyes filled with tears. You used my baby. We studied him. You stole him. Voss smiled. We protected him. You locked him underground. Because people would have killed for his blood. Darius stepped forward. You're the one who took him. Voss looked at him. Yes, you switched him with another child. Yes, why? To hide him. Darius's fists clenched. You destroyed Nia's life. I preserved her sons. Nia stepped forward. You don't get to call that preservation. Voss raised his weapon. Enough. Darius moved in front of Nia. Celeste suddenly shouted, Malcolm! Voss turned. That was enough. Darius lunged. The gun fired. The bullet struck the ceiling. Voss stumbled backward. Darius slammed him into the wall. They struggled. Nia pulled Caleb behind a metal cabinet. Amaya remained unconscious. Celeste ran toward her. Amaya! She knelt. Wake up! Amaya opened her eyes. Who are you? Celeste's face broke. Someone who should have protected you. Are you my mother? Celeste looked at Nia. No, then she whispered, but I helped create the woman who became your mother. Amaya frowned. I don't understand. You don't have to. Celeste pulled her close. You just need to know that none of this is your fault. Across the room, Darius knocked Voss's weapon away. Voss punched him. Darius staggered. Voss reached for the gun. Nia saw it. Darius turned. Voss fired. Nia screamed. But Celeste stepped between them. The bullet struck her shoulder. She fell. Mom! Nia ran. Celeste collapsed against her. Blood spread across her blouse. I'm okay. You've been shot. I know. Why did you do that? Celeste looked at her daughter. Because I already lost you once. Darius kicked the weapon away. Voss tried to escape. Mara tackled him. Police sirens suddenly sounded above them. Voss looked shocked. You called them? Mara smiled. Before we came downstairs, Voss was handcuffed. Darius immediately returned to Nia. Is she breathing? Nia nodded. Celeste looked at him. Take care of my daughter. Darius stared. I will. Celeste closed her eyes. Nia pressed her hand against the wound. Mom. Celeste opened her eyes. Yes? Don't die. A faint smile appeared. I have something to tell you. What, your father is alive? Nia froze. What? Celeste swallowed. He's the one who funded everything. Darius looked at her. Where is he? Celeste's eyes shifted toward Voss. He has been hiding in plain sight. Voss smiled. You won't find him. Darius grabbed his collar. Where? Voss laughed. Ask your grandmother. Darius's face changed. Evelyn. He immediately pulled out his phone. No answer. He called again. Still nothing. Then a message arrived. I'm sorry. Darius stared at the screen. The message continued. I couldn't protect you from him. Then another. He's coming for Nia. Darius's blood went cold. He looked at Nia. Get Caleb. What? Now? Nia lifted Caleb. What happened? Your father knows where you are. Celeste suddenly grabbed Nia's wrist. No. Nia looked down. Mum, don't take Caleb upstairs. Why? It's a trap. Darius looked toward Voss. Where is the exit? Voss smiled. There isn't one. The lights went out. Agon. A heavy metal door slammed shut. Then a voice came through the speakers. Hello, Nia. She froze. She knew that voice, not because she remembered it, because she had heard it recently, at the hospital, the unknown caller. Who are you? The voice laughed. You've spent your entire life believing your father abandoned you. Nia's hands shook. Show yourself. Soon. Why did you take Caleb? Because he belongs to me. Darius stepped forward. He belongs to Nia, the voice answered. No. A screen lit up. An old photograph appeared, Nia's father, standing beside Darius's father, and between them a newborn baby, the voice continued. Your father's made a promise. Darius stared. What promise? To merge their bloodlines. Nia felt sick. What does that mean? The two families were supposed to produce the perfect child. Darius looked at Caleb, but Caleb was born naturally. Yes, then he wasn't planned. He was the result of years of planning. Nia shook her head. My pregnancy wasn't an accident? No. The voice became softer. You were chosen. Nia stopped breathing. What? You were selected years before you ever met Darius. Darius stared at her. That can't be true, the voice laughed. Oh, Darius. A photograph appeared, Nia at 17. Standing outside a school, a man watched her from a car, then another photograph, Nia at 21, another, Nia entering the hospital 7 years ago. Darius's face changed. She was monitored. For years. Nia couldn't speak. Her entire life had been observed. Controlled, manipulated. She looked at Celeste. You knew. Celeste nodded weakly. I tried to stop them. You knew they were watching me. Yes. Why didn't you take me? I couldn't. Why? Because your father had already disappeared with the evidence. Nia stared. What evidence? Celeste's breathing became difficult. The original research. Where? Inside your mother's locket. Nia touched the necklace around her neck, the locket her grandmother had given her when she was 12. She had worn it almost every day. Darius noticed. Open it. Nia shook her head. It never opens. Try. She twisted the small clasp. It clicked. The locket opened. Inside was a tiny metal chip. Everyone stared. Voss's expression changed. No. Darius took it. What is it? Celeste whispered. The original Calypso data. Voss lunged. Darius blocked him. Mara grabbed the chip. Get this to federal investigators. Voss shouted, no. For the first time, fear appeared in his eyes. Nia looked at him. What does it contain? Everything. Celeste coughed. Names. Darius looked at her. Whose names? Everyone who funded the project. Nia's heart raced. Is my father on it? Celeste nodded. Yes. Darius's father? Yes. Evelyn. Celeste hesitated. Yes. Nia closed her eyes. So many lies, so many years. Darius took her hand. We're ending this. She looked at him. How? He squeezed her fingers. Together. For a moment she allowed herself to believe him. Then the screen changed. A live video appeared. Eli was sitting in a dark room. His face was tear-streaked. Mummy, Nia screamed. Ellie, the boy looked toward the camera. Mummy, help me. Darius stepped toward the screen. Where is he? The voice answered. Exactly where you should be. Nia shook her head. You have my son. You have one. What do you want? The chip. Darius looked at Mara. She held it tightly. The voice continued. Bring me the chip. No, then Eli dies. Nia's heart shattered. Please. Darius looked at her. Nia, he's just a child. I know. We have to save him. We will. The voice laughed. You have 10 minutes. The screen went black. A timer appeared. 10 o'clock, 59, 9:58. Nia looked at Darius. I'm going. So am I. No, what? If this is a trap, you need to stay with Caleb. I won't let you go alone. You have to protect him. Darius looked at Caleb, then at Nia. I already failed you once. You didn't fail me. I left, and you came back. Too late. But you came back. He stepped closer. I love you. Nia froze. Darius's eyes filled. I should have said it 7 years ago, she whispered. Darius, I love you. Nia looked at Caleb, then at her mother, then back at him. I love you too. The words left her almost silently. Darius closed his eyes. For 1 second the terror disappeared. He touched her cheek, then kissed her. It wasn't a desperate kiss. It wasn't a stolen kiss. It was the kiss of two people who had survived years of misunderstanding and finally found their way back. When they separated, Nia whispered, Bring Eli home. I promise. Darius took the chip. Mara grabbed his arm. I'm coming. No, you need someone who knows this facility. She looked at Voss. And I need him alive. Voss laughed. You won't make it. Mara pointed her weapon. Keep talking. They left. Nia stayed with Caleb and Amaya. Celeste was being treated by a paramedic. Nia knelt beside Amaya. Are you okay? Amaya nodded. Is Darius coming back? Yes, he feels like family. Nia smiled. He is. Amaya looked at Caleb. Is that your real son? Nia looked at him. Yes. Amaya nodded. Then why do you look sad? Nia swallowed. Because another little boy needs me too. Amaya reached for her hand. Then go get him. Nia stared at the child. Sometimes wisdom came from the smallest voices. You're right. She stood. Mum? Celeste looked at her. Where are you going? To get my son. Celeste shook her head. Nia, wait. What? Your father won't hurt you. Nia stared. Why? Because he doesn't want you dead. What does he want? Celeste's face changed. He wants you pregnant again. Nia froze. Why? Because Caleb's DNA is only half the sequence. Nia looked at Caleb. And the other half, Celeste whispered. It comes from you. Nia felt cold. That means, Celeste nodded, if they can combine your genetic material with Caleb's, they can create more. Yes. Nia stared at the floor. Suddenly, she understood. Her pregnancy had never been random. Her relationship with Darius had never been random. Even the people who had brought them together might have been part of the plan. She whispered, they wanted us together. Celeste nodded. For 7 years. Nia's stomach turned. Then every memory was manipulated. Nia looked at Caleb. No. She wiped her tears. They may have planned how we met. She looked toward the door, but they didn't plan who I would love. Celeste smiled faintly. That's my daughter. A gunshot echoed from the lower corridor. Nia jumped, then another. Celeste looked frightened. Darius. Nia ran. She reached the corridor. Mara was stumbling toward her. Blood covered her shoulder. Where's Darius? Mara looked behind her. They took him. Nia's blood froze. Who? Mara grabbed her arm. Your father, Nia stared. Where? Mara pointed toward the elevator. He knew every exit. Where did he take Darius? I don't know. Nia looked toward the elevator. The doors closed. Inside, Darius was being dragged into darkness. His father stood before him, older, elegant, calm. You look just like me. Darius stared. I watched you die, his father smiled. I never died. Why? Because I had to finish what I started. Darius struggled. Where's Ely? Safe. Where? His father stepped closer. In the room where your mother spent her final years. Darius's eyes widened. My mother is alive too, his father smiled. Not for long. The elevator descended. Below them, a hidden door opened. A little boy stood behind the glass, Ellie, and beside him stood an elderly woman. She looked directly at Darius through the glass. Darius's breath stopped. Mom, the woman smiled, then whispered through the intercom. Darius, don't trust your father. His father's expression changed. The elevator doors locked, and for the first time in 24 years, Darius heard his mother's real voice. Run, run. Darius stared through the glass. His mother's face had aged, but there was no mistaking her, those eyes. That voice, the same voice that had sung to him when he was a child, the same voice he had spent years believing he would never hear again. Mom? She pressed her hand against the glass. Darius, listen to me. His father grabbed his shoulder. Enough. Darius jerked away. You told me she was dead. His father said nothing. You lied to me. I protected you. By letting me believe my mother was buried? His father's expression hardened. She had to disappear. Why? Because she knew too much. His mother shook her head. No, her voice came through the intercom. Because I refused to cooperate. Darius looked at her. Cooperate with what? She looked toward Eli. The children. Darius's heart tightened. What did they do to you? She smiled sadly. They wanted me to help them understand the genetic sequence, and you refused. I refused to hurt children, his father interrupted. She made the project impossible. Darius looked at him. You kidnapped your own wife? She betrayed me. She protected children. She destroyed everything I built. Darius stepped forward. You destroyed our family. His father stared. Family is weakness. No. Darius's voice became cold. Family is the reason you failed. His father raised his hand. 2 guards grabbed Darius. Take him, Ellie. Daddy. Darius looked toward the boy. Ellie, his father smiled. So that's the child. Darius's eyes hardened. Don't touch him. His father walked toward the glass. Interesting. What? He has no connection to the sequence. Darius stared. Then why did you take him? To control Nia. Darius's blood ran cold. You knew she would come. Of course. She'll never stop. Exactly. His father smiled. She'll lead us to the final piece. Darius shook his head. You're wrong. Am I? You don't understand her. His father looked amused. You think love makes her stronger. It does. It makes her predictable. No. Darius looked toward Eli. It makes her dangerous. At that moment an alarm sounded. The lights turned red. His father turned. What happened? A guard rushed in. Sir, the lower security system has been breached. By whom? We don't know. Then the lights went out. Darius heard shouting. Gunfire. Glass breaking. He dropped to the floor. The guards scattered. His father disappeared into the darkness. Darius crawled toward Eli's chamber. Ellie. Daddy. Darius reached the door. It was locked. He searched for the control. Then a familiar voice whispered behind him. Move. Darius turned. Mara stood there. Her shoulder was bandaged. You're alive. Barely. How did you find me? I followed your father. Darius looked at the chamber. Eli is inside, I know. Open it. Mara pulled a small device from her pocket. Stand back. The lock sparked. The door opened. Ellie ran into Darius's arms. Daddy. Darius held him tightly. I'm here. I was scared, I know. I thought you weren't coming. Never. Ellie looked at Mara. Who is she? She's a friend. Mara smiled. Hi. Ellie nodded. Hi. Darius looked toward the hallway. Where's my father? Gone where? He took another exit. Darius frowned. How many exits does this place have? Too many. A woman's voice came through the speakers. Nia has entered the facility. Darius froze. Mum. His mother looked at him through the glass. Go, I'm not leaving you. You have to. I'm getting you out. Darius, listen. She pointed toward the floor. Your father has armed the entire lower level. Darius's face hardened. How much time? 4 minutes. Mara looked at him. We need to move. Darius nodded. Mom, come with us. She shook her head. I can't. Why? She held up her wrists' chains. I've been here too long. Darius grabbed the lock. I'll break them, Darius. She smiled. You've grown into a good man. He stopped. Mum, I'm proud of you. He shook his head. Don't talk like you're saying goodbye. I've been waiting 24 years to see you, and now you can leave. She looked toward Eli. Take care of that boy. I will, and Nia. I will, then go. Darius hesitated. She whispered, run. He grabbed Eli's hand. Mara led them through the corridor. They ran behind them. The alarms grew louder. Then Darius heard a voice. Nia. He stopped. Nia. Mara grabbed him. Keep moving. But he turned. At the far end of the corridor stood Nia. She was holding Caleb. Their eyes met. Darius. He ran toward her. Nia reached him. Are you okay? Yes. Ellie. Ellie ran into her arms. Nia cried. I've got you. Eli buried his face against her. I knew you'd come. I promised. Darius stared at Nia. Your father is here. I know. My mother too. Nia looked shocked. She is? Yes, we have to save them. Agreed. Mara looked at the timer. 2:41. Everyone needs to move. Nia looked at Caleb, then Eli, then Amaya. Can we get all of them out? Darius nodded. We will. They ran toward the elevator. Suddenly the door opened. A man stood inside. Nia froze. Her father. He smiled. Hello, Nia. She stared at him. You. He looked at Caleb. Finally. Darius moved in front of her. Stay back. Her father laughed. You're just like your father. Darius's jaw tightened. You're not touching her. I don't need to. He held up a remote. The facility is already sealed. Mara pointed her weapon. Drop it. He smiled. Go ahead. Nia stared. What do you want? Your cooperation? No, you don't understand. I understand enough. You are the only person who can complete the sequence. Nia looked at Caleb. You want my DNA. I want what your DNA can create. You're sick. Perhaps. He pointed toward the elevator. But I have spent 28 years trying to correct a mistake. What mistake? Your birth. Nia's face hardened. My birth. You were never supposed to survive. Silence. Darius looked at him. What? Her father continued. Your mother discovered the sequence before I did. Nia stared. You experimented on me. Yes, since I was a child. Yes. Why? Because your cells were different. Nia felt sick. I was your daughter. You were my research. Darius stepped forward. You're going to regret saying that. Her father smiled. Love makes you weak. Darius shook his head. No. He looked at Nia. Love makes me dangerous. Her father pressed the remote. The floor shook. A section of the hallway collapsed. Mara grabbed Amaya. Darius grabbed Eli. Nia held Caleb. Smoke filled the corridor. Run! They rushed toward the emergency stairs. Behind them, Nia's father disappeared. Darius shouted, Don't stop! They climbed 1 floor, 2, 3, then a door opened above them. Evelyn stood there. Darius. He stared. Grandmother, she held out a key. Take this. What is it? The master access. Where did you get it, your father? Darius stared. He gave it to you? No. She smiled sadly. I stole it. Mara took the key. What does it open? The archive. Darius frowned. We don't need the archive. Yes, you do. Evelyn looked at Nia. The archive contains the truth about your pregnancy. Nia's face changed. What truth? Evelyn looked away. I wasn't there to switch your babies. Nia stared. Then why were you there? To stop it. What happened? I arrived too late. Nia stepped closer. Who switched them? Evelyn whispered. Your father. Nia's heart stopped. But why? He needed the biological child. Then why leave me another baby? To keep you quiet. Nia looked at Caleb. Her eyes filled. He used that innocent child as a replacement. Evelyn nodded. Your father intended to take the biological child immediately. But someone stopped him. Your mother. Nia looked at Celeste. Then why did she disappear? Because she stole the baby, Nia gasped. What? She took your real son. Darius stared. Where? Evelyn looked at Nia. Your mother hid him. Nia's breath caught. Where? Evelyn whispered. Under Mercy Heights. Nia looked toward the corridor. We already found him. Evelyn's eyes widened. No. What? That wasn't your real son. Nia's face went pale. Then who was he? Evelyn shook her head. The child in that chamber was a decoy. Darius stared. No, Evelyn continued. Your father knew you would eventually find him. Nia's voice broke. Then where is my son? Evelyn looked toward Caleb. Closer than you think. Nia stared. No. Evelyn nodded. Caleb is your biological son. The room went silent. Darius looked at the boy. But the DNA was altered. Evelyn looked at him. The records were manipulated. Nia couldn't breathe. Then why did they tell us he was a different child? To make you believe the wrong story. Darius stared. Who changed the DNA? Evelyn looked at him. Your father. Darius's fists clenched. Why? Because he wanted you to doubt Nia. Nia whispered. So all of this? Yes. Evelyn nodded. It was designed to separate you. Darius looked at me 7 years. Every argument, every misunderstanding, every night apart, someone had engineered it. But why? Evelyn's expression changed. Because your father knew something. What? That if you and Nia stayed together, you would become impossible to control. Darius stared. What do you mean? Evelyn looked toward Caleb. Your son carries the completed sequence. Darius's eyes widened. He's the key. Yes. Nia held Caleb tighter. No one is taking him. A loud crash came from downstairs. Evelyn looked toward the stairs. They're here. Mara raised her weapon. Who? Evelyn whispered with footsteps. Dozens of armed men appeared. Darius moved the children behind him. Nia stood beside him. Evelyn raised her gun. Stay together. A man stepped forward. Nia recognized him. Jeremiah Alagan. She stared. You're impossible. He smiled. You finally understand. Darius pointed his weapon. You staged your death. Yes. Why? To remove suspicion. Mara looked at him. Where's your father? Jeremiah laughed. Gone. Nia stared. Then why are you here? To finish the project. He pointed at Caleb. Hand him over. Nia shook her head. No. Jeremiah smiled. Then I'll take him. He raised his gun. Darius fired first. The corridor exploded into gunfire. Evelyn fired. Mara fired. Nia ducked. Darius pulled her behind a concrete pillar. Stay down. What about the children? Evelyn has them. Bullets struck the wall. Jeremiah's men advanced. Darius looked at Nia. There's another way out. How do you know? I don't. She stared. Then how? He pointed toward a maintenance door. Because your father designed this place. They ran. Nia carried Caleb. Darius carried Eli. Mara followed. Evelyn and Amaya came behind them. They entered the maintenance tunnel. The door slammed shut. Gunfire echoed outside. They ran until they reached a metal bridge over a massive underground chamber. Nia looked down. Her heart stopped. Thousands of medical records filled the room below. Every child, every test, every experiment, every name. Darius stared. This is everything. Mara looked at the files. We need to destroy it. No. Evelyn shook her head. Not yet. Why? Because we need evidence. Darius nodded. Then copy everything. Mara pulled out a device. I'll start. Suddenly a red light appeared. Simp purge initiated. Evelyn looked horrified. Your father. Darius stared at the countdown to 1 o'clock. We have 1 minute. Mara connected the device. Give me 30 seconds. Nia held Caleb. Ellie clung to her. Darius looked toward the tunnel. They're coming, Mara shouted. 20 seconds. Footsteps echoed. Jeremiah appeared. Give me the children. Darius raised his weapon. Never. Jeremiah smiled. You still don't understand. What? I don't need Caleb. Darius frowned. Then what do you want? Jeremiah looked directly at Nia. I need her. Nia froze. Jeremiah raised a remote. The purge isn't destroying the files. What is it doing? It's opening every chamber. Darius looked down. Doors began unlocking. Thousands of alarms activated. Mara stared at her device. What did you do? Jeremiah smiled. I released them. A distant roar echoed through the facility. Children began screaming. Nia looked horrified. You locked children in here? Not children. Jeremiah's eyes hardened. Subjects. Darius stared at him. You're going to pay for this. Jeremiah smiled. Only if you survive. Then the bridge beneath them exploded. Nia screamed. Darius grabbed her. The metal floor collapsed. Mara fell. Evelyn grabbed Amaya. Ellie slipped. Daddy. Darius caught him with one hand. Nia held Caleb with the other. They dangled over the darkness. Jeremiah stood above them. He looked down. You see, he smiled, you can't save everyone. Darius looked at Nia. Hold on, she nodded. Jeremiah stepped closer. Then another figure appeared behind him. A woman, bloodied, weak, but standing. Darius stared. Mom? His mother raised a gun. Move away from my son. Jeremiah turned. She fired. The bullet struck him in the chest. He stumbled backward. Darius pulled himself up. His mother rushed toward them. Take the children. Nia climbed onto the bridge. Darius followed. Jeremiah fell over the edge. Everyone stared. Then his hand grabbed the railing. He smiled. Not yet. Darius stepped toward him. Jeremiah reached for him. Help me. Darius looked at the hand, then at the children. Then at Nia. He remembered every lie, every life destroyed. He reached down. Jeremiah smiled. But Darius didn't grab his hand. He grabbed the railing beside him, then pulled himself away. Jeremiah's fingers slipped. He fell into the darkness. A long silence followed. Then they heard a crash far below. Mara looked at the timer. 30 seconds. Move! They ran. The facility began collapsing. Concrete cracked. Lights shattered. Water flooded through the lower tunnels. Nia held Caleb. Darius held Eli, his mother held Amaya. They reached the elevator. It wouldn't open. Mara slammed the controls. "Come on!" Nothing. Darius looked behind them. The tunnel was collapsing. Then a small voice spoke. "Let me." Amaya stepped forward. She placed her hand against the panel. The elevator opened. Everyone rushed inside. The doors closed. The elevator began rising. Nia leaned against Darius. For the first time, she let herself cry. He wrapped an arm around her. "You're safe." She looked at him. "Are we?" Darius looked at the children, then at his mother, then at the elevator doors. "I don't know." The elevator stopped. The doors opened. They stepped into the hospital lobby. Police officers filled the building. Federal agents surrounded the exits. Mara handed over the evidence device. "It has everything." An agent nodded. "We'll secure it." Nia looked around. The hospital was chaos, but they were alive. Caleb held her hand. Ellie held Darius's. Amaya stood beside them. Darius's mother looked toward the sunlight outside. She closed her eyes. "I forgot what daylight felt like." Darius hugged her. "I've got you now," she cried against his shoulder. Nia watched them. Then a federal agent approached. "Mims Bennett?" "Yes, we need to tell you something." "What?" He held out a folder. "We identified the man who financed the entire project." Nia's heart sank. Who? The agent opened the file. Her father's name was printed across the page, but beneath it was another name, Darius's father. And below both names was a third, Evelyn Cole. Nia looked at Darius. He stared at the folder. Then the agent whispered, "There's one more problem." "What?" "The financial records show the project never stopped." Darius's face hardened. "What do you mean?" The agent turned the page. "Someone is still funding it." Nia's stomach dropped. "Who?" The agent looked at them. "The money is coming from an account owned by—" He stopped. Darius stepped forward. "Say it." The agent swallowed. "Darius Cole." Silence. Darius stared. "That isn't possible." The agent showed him the records. Transfers, millions every month for 7 years. Nia slowly stepped away from him. "Darius," he looked at her, "I swear to you." His phone buzzed. Unknown number. A message appeared. "You should have checked the trust fund before you trusted the woman you loved." Darius looked at Nia, then at his mother, then at the agent, and suddenly his mother's face went white. "Darius." "What?" she whispered. "Your father didn't create the account." Darius stared. "Then who did?" His mother looked at Nia. "I did." Nia stared at Darius's mother. "You?" The woman lowered her eyes. "I created the account." Darius stepped back. "Why?" His mother looked toward the children. "Because I knew one day you would have to destroy everything your father built." Darius shook his head. "You don't understand what this looks like." "I do. Millions were transferred from an account in my name." "I know, and you created it." "Yes." "Why?" "Because I needed somewhere to hide the money." Nia's voice trembled. "Hide it from whom?" "From your father." Darius's mother took a breath. "After I discovered what he was doing, I began moving his money into a protected account." The federal agent looked at her. "You were laundering funds?" "No." She shook her head. "I was preserving evidence." The agent frowned. "That's not how the records will look." "I know." Darius stared at her. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because you were being watched." "By my father, by everyone." Nia looked at Darius. "So when we met—" Darius shook his head. "No," his mother interrupted. "You weren't brought together by the project." Nia stared. "What?" "I tried to stop the project." Darius's mother looked at her. "I arranged for you to meet Darius." Nia's heart stopped. "You?" "Yes, why?" "Because I knew your father was monitoring you." Nia's voice broke. "So you used Darius to protect me?" "No." She shook her head. "I used Darius because I knew he was the only man his father could never control." Darius looked at Nia. "I thought our meeting was an accident." "So did I." His mother smiled sadly. "That part was planned." Nia's eyes filled. "But everything after that was yours." Darius reached for Nia's hand. She hesitated, then took it. His mother continued. "I wanted you together because I believed your love could survive the truth." Nia whispered. "And the 7 years?" "I didn't know what your father would do." Darius looked at her. "You let me believe Nia abandoned me." "I didn't." "Then who sent me the letter?" His mother went silent. "What letter?" Darius froze. "The letter telling me Nia wanted nothing to do with me." His mother shook her head. "I never sent it." Nia looked at him. "What letter?" Darius's face changed. "I thought you knew. I never wrote you." "You didn't?" "No." Darius stared at her. Then someone else did. The federal agent stepped closer. "We need to secure both of you." Darius looked at him. "Why?" "Because the person controlling the financial network may still be inside this hospital." Everyone went silent. Mara slowly reached for her weapon. "Inside?" The agent nodded. "We intercepted a message 15 minutes ago." "What did it say?" "Calypso is not over." Nia's stomach tightened. "Who sent it?" "We don't know." Then every phone in the lobby vibrated at once. Darius looked at his screen. A video had arrived. He opened it. The image showed a room, a table, a chair, and someone sitting in the shadows. Darius's blood ran cold. "Dad?" The figure leaned forward, but it wasn't Darius's father. It was Jeremiah Olive Agan. His face was bruised, blood ran from his temple, yet he was smiling. "You really thought I would fall?" Darius stared at the screen. "Where are you?" Jeremiah laughed. "Closer than you think." Nia looked around. "Turn the cameras on." The federal agent shouted to security. "Lock every entrance," Jeremiah continued. "You have the evidence." Darius said nothing. "You have the children." Still nothing. "You even have the woman who started everything." He looked directly into the camera. "But you don't have the person who finished it." Nia frowned. "Who?" Jeremiah smiled. "Your son knows." Nia looked at Caleb. The boy was staring at the screen. His face had gone pale. "Caleb," he stepped backward. Darius knelt. "What's wrong?" Caleb whispered. "I know him." Nia froze. "You've seen Jeremiah?" Caleb nodded. "In my dreams." Darius's expression changed. "What did he tell you?" Caleb looked at the screen. "He said Daddy would come." Darius stared. "When?" "Every night." Nia crouched beside him. "Caleb, what else?" The boy swallowed. "He told me not to trust the woman with the blue ring." Everyone looked around. There were dozens of people. Then Darius's mother noticed something. A woman standing near the emergency entrance, blue ring. She immediately raised her weapon. "Everyone down." The woman pulled a gun. Mara fired. The woman ducked behind a pillar. Security officers rushed forward. She ran. Darius grabbed Nia. "Stay here." "No, Nia. I'm not losing you again." He looked into her eyes. "Then stay behind me." They followed the officers. The woman raced down the corridor. Mara caught up. She tackled her. The gun skidded away. The woman screamed. "Get off me." Mara handcuffed her. Darius arrived. "Who are you?" The woman smiled. "Someone who knows where your father is." Darius's expression hardened. "Tell me," she laughed. "You're asking the wrong question." "What question should I ask?" "Ask why your father needed Nia's mother alive." Darius looked toward Celeste. His mother stepped forward. "Who are you?" The woman stared at her. "Your husband's first mistake." Celeste's face went pale. "My husband?" "Yes." Darius frowned. "What does she mean?" The woman looked at Nia. "Your father didn't start Calypso." Nia's breath caught. "He inherited it." "From whom?" The woman smiled. "From your grandfather." Nia closed her eyes. Agan, another generation, another secret, another lie. Darius looked at the woman. "Where is my father?" She shook her head. "Dead. You're lying. He died 3 days ago." Darius stared. "Then who is sending these messages?" The woman smiled. "His daughter." Silence. Darius looked at Nia. "My father had another daughter." The woman nodded. "She is the real owner of the company." Nia felt cold. "Who?" The woman leaned closer. "Amaya." Everyone turned. The little girl stood beside Celeste. Her eyes widened. "No." The woman smiled. "Your father's DNA isn't the only thing inside her." Darius stared at Amaya. "What are you talking about?" The woman laughed. "Ask Celeste." All eyes turned toward Nia's mother. Celeste looked at Amaya, then at Darius. "I didn't want you to find out like this." Darius stepped forward. "Find out what?" Celeste whispered. "Amaya is your father's biological daughter." Darius shook his head. "You said she was created." She was. "But she also carries his natural DNA." "Yes, how?" Celeste closed her eyes. "Because your father used his own cells." Darius stared. "That doesn't make her his daughter." Celeste looked at him. "It does if the cells came from a child he already had." Silence. Nia looked at Amaya. "Who was her mother?" Celeste hesitated. "Me." Darius's eyes widened. Nia stared. "You and my father?" "No." Celeste shook her head. "I carried her, but you weren't her mother. I was her surrogate." Darius's face changed. "So Amaya is your half-sister." Amaya began crying. Darius knelt immediately. "Amaya." She looked at him. "Is it true?" He couldn't lie. "Yes." She stepped backward. "You're my brother?" Darius nodded. She ran into his arms. He held her tightly. "I won't let anyone take you," Amaya cried. "I don't want to be a subject." "You're not." "What am I?" Darius looked at her. "My sister," she cried harder. Nia watched them. The family that had been shattered by secrets was slowly being rebuilt. But there was still one secret left. The woman with the blue ring smiled. "You're wasting time." Darius turned. "Why?" "Because Jeremiah isn't after Amaya." "Then who?" "Nia." Nia's heart stopped. "Why?" "Because she is the final carrier." The room became silent. The woman continued. "Your son has the sequence." Nia looked at Caleb. "And I complete it." "Yes." Darius stepped in front of her. "You're not touching her." The woman laughed. "You still think this is about taking her? Then what is it about?" "She already has the key." Nia frowned. "What key?" The woman pointed at Nia's necklace. "The locket." Nia touched it. "The chip." "No." The woman smiled. "Something else." Nia opened the locket. Inside was a second compartment. She had never seen it. A tiny photograph fell out. Nia picked it up. Her hands began shaking. It was a picture of her as a baby. And beside her stood another infant. Twins, she looked at Celeste. What is this? Celeste closed her eyes. I was hoping you would never find that. Nia's voice broke. Was I a twin? Yes. Where is my sister? Celeste didn't answer. Nia stepped closer. Mom, Celeste whispered. She died. Nia stared at the photograph. But the woman said I was the final carrier. Celeste looked toward Amaya. No. Darius frowned. Then who is? Celeste pointed toward the hallway. Everyone turned. A woman stood there. She looked almost exactly like Nia, same eyes. Same smile, same scar above the eyebrow. Nia stopped breathing. The woman whispered, "Hello, sister." The room exploded into chaos. Security raised their weapons. Darius grabbed Nia. Celeste covered her mouth. Amaya stared. Caleb whispered, "That's the woman from my dreams." Nia couldn't move. The woman smiled. "I've been waiting for you. Who are you?" The woman stepped forward. "My name is Naomi." Nia shook her head. "No, yes. My mother said you died." She lied. Celeste started crying. "I had no choice." Naomi looked at her. "You always say that." Nia's voice trembled. Celeste whispered, "Because your father wanted one of you alive." "One of us?" Naomi smiled. "He chose me." Darius stepped forward. "Why?" Naomi looked at him. "Because I was the perfect match." "For what?" She looked at Caleb. "For him." Nia grabbed Caleb. "No." Naomi smiled. "Your son doesn't belong to you." Darius raised his weapon. "Take one more step." Naomi didn't stop. "He belongs to the family that created him." Nia shook her head. "He is not a product." Naomi's expression softened. "I know. Then why are you doing this?" "Because I want to destroy the people who did this to us." Darius lowered his weapon slightly. "What?" Naomi looked at Celeste. "She didn't tell you the whole truth." Nia turned. "What truth?" Naomi smiled. "Your father wasn't the mastermind." Celeste looked terrified. "Naomi, stop. It's time." Nia stepped closer. "Time for what?" Naomi pointed at the federal agent. "He isn't a federal agent." Everyone turned. The man pulled out his weapon. He fired. Darius pushed Nia down. The bullet struck the wall. Mara fired back. The fake agent ran. 2 more men emerged from the crowd. The hospital erupted into gunfire. Darius grabbed Caleb. Nia grabbed Eli. Naomi grabbed Amaya. Celeste ducked behind a desk. Mara shouted, "Get to the ambulance bay." They ran outside. Rain hammered the pavement. Police vehicles surrounded the hospital. But one black SUV was waiting. The doors opened. Naomi pushed Amaya inside. "Get in." Darius hesitated. "Why should I trust you?" Naomi looked at him. "Because I'm the only person who can keep your children alive." Nia stared at her. "You're my sister." "Yes, then why should I believe you?" Naomi looked into her eyes. "Because I spent 24 years being hunted by the same people hunting you." Nia climbed inside. Darius followed. Mara drove. The SUV sped away. Behind them, the hospital disappeared into the rain. For several minutes, nobody spoke. Then Amaya asked, "Where are we going?" Naomi looked at her. "Home." Darius frowned. "Where?" Naomi gave Mara an address. Mara's eyes widened. "You're taking us there?" "Yes. That place was abandoned." "Not anymore." The SUV stopped outside an old mansion. Nia stepped out. She stared at the building. Something about it felt familiar. She walked toward the front door. A photograph hung beside it. Nia as a child, Celeste beside her, and another little girl, Naomi. Nia touched the glass. "We lived here." Naomi nodded. "For 6 years. Why don't I remember?" "Because your father erased the memories." Nia looked at her. "How?" "Hypnosis." Darius's face hardened. "Why?" Naomi opened the door. "Because he needed you to forget the room downstairs." Nia stopped. "What room?" Naomi looked at her. "The room where you and I were tested." Darius grabbed Nia's hand. "Don't go down there." Nia stared at the staircase. "I have to." They descended. At the bottom was a small white room, 2 child-sized beds, 2 chairs, 2 mirrors. Nia began crying. She remembered. A woman holding her hand, a little girl beside her, a voice saying, "Don't be afraid." Then a needle, a scream, Naomi's scream. Nia collapsed. Darius caught her. "I remember." Naomi knelt. "You were 6. What happened?" "Our father tried to separate us." "Why?" "Because our bodies reacted differently." Nia looked at Caleb. "What did they discover?" Naomi whispered, "You could create the sequence. And you?" "I could destroy it." Nia stared. "What?" Naomi smiled sadly. "That's why they need both of us." Darius looked between them. "Then we don't give them either." Naomi nodded. "Exactly." A sudden sound came from upstairs. Footsteps. Everyone froze. Mara raised her weapon. Someone followed us. Darius moved in front of the children. The footsteps came closer. Then a voice called from the hallway. "Nia?" Nia's eyes widened. She knew that voice. Her father, alive Agon. He stepped into the doorway, but this time he wasn't alone. Beside him stood a man Nia had never expected to see, Darius's father. Both men were holding guns. Darius stared. "You," his father smiled. "Hello, son." Nia's father looked at her. "Hello, daughter." Then he raised his weapon toward Caleb. "It's time to finish what we started." For one terrible second, nobody moved. Nia's father stood at the bottom of the staircase with a gun pointed directly at Caleb. Beside him stood Darius's father. Two men who had spent decades hiding behind money, power, hospitals, corporations and lies. And now they were standing in front of the children they had tried to turn into experiments. Nia stepped in front of Caleb. "You'll have to shoot me first." Her father smiled. "I was hoping you'd say that." Darius moved beside her. "You're not touching either of them." Darius's father looked at him. "You still don't understand what you're protecting." "My family. Your family is the reason millions of people could die." Darius frowned. "What?" His father lifted his gun. "The sequence isn't just regenerative." Naomi stepped forward. "Don't listen to him." Her father looked at her. "You always were the emotional one, and you always were a coward." His face hardened. "You should have stayed hidden." Naomi laughed. "I did for 24 years, and I survived." Nia looked at her. "What's he talking about?" Naomi turned toward her. "The sequence isn't a cure, then what is it? A weapon?" The room became silent. Darius's father nodded. "Now you're listening." Nia stared. "How? Regeneration is only one effect. What are the others?" Naomi answered. "It can alter cellular responses." Darius frowned. Meaning whoever controls it can make a body heal." She paused. "Or stop healing." Nia's stomach turned. "So you could kill someone?" "Yes, or save them." "Yes." Darius looked at his father. "And you wanted to sell that?" His father smiled. "Imagine the market." Nia's father interrupted. "Imagine the power." Darius stepped forward. "You're monsters." His father shrugged. "History doesn't remember morality. It remembers consequences." His father laughed. "You sound like your mother." Darius froze. "Where is she?" "Safe." "Where?" "Somewhere you will never find her." Nia looked at her father. "You took her too." "No." "Then where is she?" He smiled. "She's closer than you think." Naomi's expression changed. She whispered, "Dad." Her father turned toward her. "You recognize the house?" Naomi looked around. "Yes." This was where the first successful test occurred. Nia's heart pounded. "Our tests?" "Yes." Darius looked at the room. "And you brought us here because this is where it ends?" Nia shook her head. "No." Her father smiled. "That's what your mother said." Nia stared. "What did you do to her?" "Nothing." "You're lying." He pointed toward a door. "Open it." Nia hesitated. Naomi grabbed her arm. "Don't." Her father laughed. "Still protecting your sister?" Naomi's eyes filled with rage. "She doesn't remember." "Exactly." Darius looked at the door. "What's behind it?" His father answered. "The truth." Nia walked toward it. Darius followed. Naomi shook her head. "Nia, don't." Nia placed her hand on the handle. She opened the door. A small room appeared, a desk, old medical equipment, photographs, and a video monitor. The screen automatically turned on. A recording began. Celeste appeared. She looked younger, tired, terrified. She was holding two babies. Nia's heart stopped. "Twins," she whispered. "Naomi." The recording continued. Celeste looked directly at the camera. "If you're watching this, then my daughters have survived." Nia began crying. Celeste continued. "I need you to know that I never abandoned either of you." The screen flickered. A man entered the recording, Nia's father. He took one baby, then another. Celeste fought him. "Give them back." He shoved her away. "You failed. They're children. They're the future." "No," Celeste cried. "They're my daughters." He looked into the camera. "One of them will carry the sequence. And the other, she will destroy it." Celeste stared at him. "You'll never control them." He smiled. "Not together." The recording ended. Nia turned toward her father. "You separated us." "Yes." "You made me forget her." "Yes." "You let me believe she was dead." "Yes." Nia's voice broke. "Why?" "Because together, you were dangerous." Naomi stepped beside her. "We still are." Her father raised his weapon. Unfortunately, he fired. Darius pushed Nia aside. The bullet struck the wall. Naomi fired back. Darius's father grabbed his arm. They struggled. The room erupted. Mara shouted, "Get the children out." Nia grabbed Caleb and Eli. Amaya ran behind her. They rushed through the hallway. Another gunshot, then another. Nia reached the front door. It wouldn't open. "It's locked." Mara slammed into it. "Electronic lock." Naomi ran toward them. "There's another exit." "Where?" "Kitchen." They ran. Behind them, Darius shouted. "Nia." She turned. Darius was struggling with his father. His father raised the gun. Nia screamed. "Darius." Darius ducked. Mara fired. The weapon flew from his father's hand. Darius tackled him. They crashed against the floor. His father looked up. "You won't kill me." Darius stared at him. "No." He stood. "I'm going to make sure you live long enough to answer for everything." Police sirens sounded outside. Darius's father laughed. "You think police can stop this? They can stop you." "No." He smiled. "It's already happening." Darius froze. "What?" His father pointed toward the television. A news broadcast had begun. Breaking news. Multiple hospitals across the country had reported unexplained power failures. Patients with immune disorders were suddenly deteriorating. Doctors were reporting a mysterious biological phenomenon. Nia stared. "What is happening?" Darius's father smiled. "The sequence has been released." Naomi's face went pale. "No." She turned toward her father. "You activated it." "Yes, but you don't have the completed formula." He smiled. "I don't need it." Naomi looked at Nia. "He used the incomplete sequence." "What does that mean?" "It spreads through the bloodstream." Darius stared. "Like a virus?" "No." "Then what?" "Like a biological switch." Nia's heart sank. "What happens when it activates?" Naomi swallowed. "It causes damaged cells to behave unpredictably." Darius looked at the television. People were dying. He turned toward his father. "You did this. I began it. Why? To force the world to pay attention." Nia stared. "You killed innocent people. Sacrifices. Children. Necessary." Darius's face hardened. "You're done." His father laughed. "Am I?" He reached into his coat. Darius raised his weapon. "Don't." His father pulled out a small device. "Every hospital connected to my network will receive the final activation signal." Naomi stared. "You're bluffing." He smiled. "Am I?" Darius's phone rang. He answered. A hospital administrator screamed through the line. "Mr. Cole, we have hundreds of patients collapsing." Darius closed his eyes. "How many hospitals?" 23. His father smiled. Nia whispered, "Stop him." Darius looked at Naomi. "Can you?" Naomi nodded. "I can reverse it. How I need Nia." Nia stepped forward. "What do you need?" "Your blood." Darius's father laughed. "Exactly." Nia looked at him. "Then take it." Darius grabbed her hand. "No. If it saves those people, I won't risk you." Darius. "No." Nia looked into his eyes. "You spent 7 years searching for me." "Yes." "Don't spend the rest of your life regretting that you couldn't save everyone." His eyes filled. "I can't lose you." "You won't." Naomi stepped closer. "She won't die." "How do you know?" "Because I've survived it." Darius looked at her. "And if you're wrong?" Naomi answered quietly. "Then we'll all find out together." Nia looked at her sister. "Do it." Naomi nodded. They moved into the laboratory. Darius stayed beside Nia. Mara guarded the door. The children were hidden upstairs with federal agents. Nia sat in the chair. Naomi prepared the equipment. Darius held her hand. "Yes, I do." "Why?" "Because I brought Caleb into this world." Darius smiled. "You didn't." Nia looked at him. "What? You brought him into mine?" Her eyes filled. He kissed her forehead. "I love you. I love you too." Naomi inserted the needle. Nia winced. Blood flowed into the container. The machine began processing it. Then the lights turned red. Naomi frowned. "What? What happened? The system isn't accepting it." Darius looked at the screen. "What does it say?" Naomi read the message, compatibility failure. Nia's face went pale. "What does that mean?" Naomi shook her head. "It means you're not the missing half." Darius stared. "Then who is?" The machine beeped. A second profile appeared. "Make." Naomi froze. Darius looked at her. "Who?" she whispered. "Caleb." Nia stood. "No." Naomi looked at her. "His blood completes the reversal." Darius's face hardened. "Absolutely not. We need a sample." "No, Darius. He's 7. We only need a few milliliters." Darius stared at Caleb through the glass. The boy was terrified. Nia knelt beside him. "Baby." Caleb looked up. "Are they going to hurt me?" "No. Promise." "I promise." Darius joined them. "No one will hurt you." Caleb looked at him. "Can I help the sick people?" Darius swallowed. "Yes." "Then do it." A nurse drew a small sample. Caleb barely flinched. The machine activated. Naomi watched the screen. "It's working." Nia exhaled. Across the world, hospital systems began receiving the reversal signal. One by one, the emergency alerts stopped. Doctors reported patients stabilizing. The sequence was reversing. Darius's father stared at the monitor. "No." Darius walked toward him. "It's over." His father shook his head. "You don't know what you've done. You lost." "No." He looked at Caleb. "You created something you can't control." Darius stepped closer. "My son isn't something. He's the future. He's a child. He'll change the world." Darius shook his head. "He already changed mine." Federal agents entered. They arrested Darius's father. Nia's father was arrested moments later. Mara watched them being taken away. For the first time, the mansion was quiet. But the story wasn't over, because the evidence had revealed something worse. Thousands of files, hundreds of names, doctors, executives, politicians, scientists, people who had profited from Calypso. The investigation lasted months. Hospitals were audited, accurate laboratories were shut down, victims were identified, families were reunited, and the truth finally became public. But Nia and Darius faced another battle. The children. Caleb needed time to heal. Eli needed stability. Amaya needed a family. Darius's mother needed years of recovery. Celeste needed surgery. And Nia needed to learn how to live without looking over her shoulder. They moved into a quiet estate outside Charleston, not a mansion for business, a home. There were flowers around the porch, children's toys in the yard, and laughter. Real laughter. One evening Nia stood on the balcony. Darius walked behind her. "You're thinking too much," she smiled. Maybe he wrapped his arms around her. "About what?" "Everything. The past, the future." "What about it?" She turned. "I never thought I'd have one." Darius kissed her forehead. "You do now," she smiled. "Do we?" He nodded. "Absolutely." Behind them, Caleb and Eli were arguing over a football. Amaya was laughing. Darius's mother was sitting on the porch. Celeste was beside her. For the first time, the family looked almost normal. Then Darius took something from his pocket, a small velvet box. Nia stared. "Darius." He knelt. Her hand flew to her mouth. "7 years ago, I lost you because I was too afraid to fight for us." He opened the box. Inside was a simple diamond ring. "Today, I'm asking you to choose me without fear." Nia's eyes filled. "Darius, I can't promise life will never hurt." He smiled. "But I can promise you won't face it alone." Nia knelt in front of him. "Yes," he laughed. "Yes, yes." He placed the ring on her finger. She kissed him. Their children cheered from the yard. Caleb shouted, "Daddy got Mommy!" Eli laughed. Amaya clapped. Darius pulled Nia into his arms. For once, there were no secrets, no laboratories, no hidden cameras, no contracts, no lies, just love. But months later, something unexpected arrived. A letter, no return address. Nia opened it. Inside was a photograph. She stared. A young black woman stood beside a hospital bed. A baby was in her arms. On the back of the photograph were 6 words. "Another Calypso child." Nia's blood ran cold. Darius took the photograph. "What is this?" "I don't know." He turned it over. Then his face changed. "There's a date. Tomorrow." Nia stared. "Tomorrow?" He nodded. Underneath the date was an address. An old hospital, 3 hours away. Nia looked toward the children. Darius knew what she was thinking. "No." She turned. "Darius, we've already survived this, and someone else hasn't." He looked at the photograph again, the baby, the mother, the hospital, then at Nia. "I'll call the authorities." "Good." She nodded. "But I'm going with you." He smiled. "I knew you'd say that." Nia looked at the photograph. For 7 years she had searched for one child. Now she knew what it meant to be given a second chance. She reached for Darius's hand. "We saved them." He squeezed it. Together. And this time they didn't run from the past. They walked toward it, because their family had been built from secrets, but their future would be built from truth. The next morning, the sun rose over Charleston. Caleb ran through the garden. Eli chased him. Amaya laughed. Darius's mother watched from the porch. Celeste watered the flowers, and Nia stood beside Darius at the gate. He looked at her. "Ready?" She smiled. "Always." They got into the car. As they drove away, Nia looked back at the house, the home they had fought so hard to build. Then she looked forward. She didn't know what waited at the hospital. Another secret, another child, another enemy, or perhaps another family waiting to be saved. But she knew one thing. She wasn't afraid anymore, because the woman who had once been abandoned had become the woman who refused to abandon anyone else. And the billionaire who had once believed power could protect him had finally learned that love was stronger than every fortune, every empire, and every secret. Their story had begun with a broken heart. It had survived betrayal. It had survived 7 years of separation. It had survived lies, laboratories, danger, and loss. And somehow, love had still found its way home. Nia looked at Darius. "I love you." He smiled. "I love you too." The road stretched ahead, and for the first time they didn't know what tomorrow would bring. They simply knew they would face it together. Because some families are born, some are chosen, and some are fought. For theirs was all 3. And that was more than enough. Thank you, Proudly family, for joining us on this unforgettable journey. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe to Proudly Black Stories, and don't forget to tell us, which country are you watching from, and what time is it in your city? We'll see you in the next inspiring story.